Hello, Chaverim. I wish I had the opportunity to see more faces, but we're taking a step up professionally and doing this as a webinar. One of the things that we've tried to initiate in the RCA is a different level of continuing rabbinic education. Instead of a short meeting with someone from our network to kind of reach out and reach further to do a continuing education seminar of some sort, more like would be typical in the world of continuing education credits. And we're happy to present today the first fruit of our efforts. We have the great pleasure today of being with Shlomo Einhorn, which is, regardless of anything he's going to teach us, just always a blast. Many of you know Shlomo from his many hats over the years. He started at Westside Institutional Synagogue, then in 2012, I think it is, moved out to Los Angeles to the Yavne Hebrew Academy and the shul there. And he has taken a step back to focus on the fascinating world of artificial intelligence. He started a company called Shpait.ai, and we're waiting to hear why it's called Shpait. We know what Shpait means, but we're trying to figure out why he called that. This is going to be a fascinating session. So let's talk for a minute about what we're going to be doing today. We're going to have Rabbi Einhorn is going to present for about 50 minutes or something like that, the first piece. What are we going to be starting with? The first piece was using for Torah presentations.
Yeah, Torah presentations. Yes.
Okay, so we're going to start with using AI for Torah presentations. If you have questions, please put the questions in the chat and we'll direct them to Rabbi Einhorn. And then after about an hour or so, we'll take a 10-minute break, and then we'll continue with the second session, which is using AI as a part of your professional rabbinate in ways to allow you to save time and to do things even more professionally than you could have. I am very excited about this session. I really want to thank Rabbi Einhorn, Rabbi Shlomo, for being here with us. I know that we're going to learn a lot, and I hope it's going to help the RCA too. So we hand it over to you. Thank you so much. I want to welcome in the background somewhere our President Zvi Engel, who's part of the many people watching this. If you enjoy this session, as I'm sure you will, please recommend it. It's available for free after this session will be recorded. It'll be available for free for RCA members and at a small charge for non-RCA members. The last thing I want to say, in case you're not on at the very end, is that this is the first of many 1/3 day, half day, such continuing education projects of the RCA. And we're curious to hear who'd you like to hear next, what topics you'd like to hear, and which presenters you'd like to hear to be able to bring you the cutting edge information that you need to be able to do your job better so you can help serve Klal Yisrael. Thanks very much to Rabbi Adam Dubin for his help in setting up this webinar and everything else that he does for us, sometimes in the background, but very much appreciated. Thank you, Rabbi Dubin. And now we turn it over to Shlomo Einhorn.
Hello. Thank you so much. Thank you, Rabbi Penner. Thank you to the Rabbanim that are on here and to Rabbi Dubin. This is the problem with this session is that there's so much to say. There's so much to say. There's so much to share with you. This stuff keeps me up late at night because it's gewaldic beyond measure. So a couple caveats. Number one, Ray Penner asked, how did your company get the name Shpait? I wasn't going to address that, but I remember years ago buying coming up with the idea of why be late when you got Shpait, a last second website where you could buy all your last second needs. And I paid for the website, and I'm like, wait a second, that's Amazon. It's just the next day. It's stupid. So I held it for 20 years. I held on to it. I said I knew it was going to come in handy one day. And then my son says the word AI is in Shpait. The AI is in there. I'm like, oh, that's great. So it just became Shpait. So now that's how we get to Shpait.ai. Fine. So that's the story. Now, let's begin. Rule number one is, this is rule number one. I don't want to hear that, oh, but it gets facts wrong. It gets facts wrong. That is just number one, thinking of it like Google search. It's not Google search right now. It's not. There is a search component, which I'll share with you. But that's number one. So I don't complain about that. Number two is, and I'm going to show you how to mitigate that. Number two is the idea that, oh, what about all the, negative aspects that may emerge from it? There is no doubt that there will be. There's no doubt that muscles will atrophy because of this. But I say like this, there are a lot of people who are working on this, thinking about this. My area is in the positive side of it. Let everybody else worry about and debate what it's going to do. There's enough people working on this, psychologists, serious psychologists working on this, and it is an important question. But today we'll focus on the light side of this. I tell over that there was someone, I saw a newspaper clipping once that someone killed her husband with a cucumber. So a cucumber could be used for good or bad. You could stab your husband with a cucumber, just like you could use AI for good and bad. So let's focus on the good side of this. Okay. So number one is when constructing a drusha or putting together material. Now, when doing something like that, you want to think about it like, okay, start it like you would a drusha. All right, here I go. I'm sitting down, and everybody has a different format for how they do this, and depending how many years they're in the rabbinate, what their format is. And I'd love for people, even in the chat, you could throw in if you have a different workflow process, how we could use AI to augment it. Okay, I want to say one more caveat. I may be talking fast, and there may be a lot of things where you're like, I don't know how to use that thing, I don't know how to use it. I'm going to give you a flyer, right, Penner, that maybe we could send out that people could follow up if they want to just learn how to use the specific devices. Because I could take one platform and we could spend the whole day on it, which would be a mistake. Okay, so you have to sit down and ask yourself, what's your typical workflow, right? What's your typical workflow when writing a drasha? So number one, you have to think about what are the components that go into writing and putting together a good drasha prep. So here I have it. I'm going to share with you here. Let's try first a screen share of the day. Let's go to Zoom and bottom share, and there it is. Okay, we're in. What you see in front of you is something I'm going to teach you soon is Obsidian. Anyone who's been talking to me about AI knows I am Obsidian junkie. I love it. Baruch atanu malchalam shakal mi'advar. Good, good. Okay, now we're ready. Now we're really ready. Restart the clock. Okay, so when preparing a drasha, these are all the pieces that I think go into what you need to think about before you give a drasha. Who the audience is, how the content's going to be structured, introduction, is there a hook, interactive elements, if any, if you're doing it, let's say during the week or whatever it is, pacing and timing, token, of course, I made it the brightest color, that means most important, effective use of visual aids if you're going to do that, conclusion summary, and what are your overall objectives, which you should probably start with. What are your objectives in giving the drasha? So you can put that at the top as what you do. Now, what you're looking at over here is, I think, the single best tool to help you construct a drasha, and that is Obsidian. What Obsidian is basically just a note-taking. At its simplest core, it's a simple note-taking platform. Hello, this is my drasha. Okay, I will get back to Obsidian, but I want to show you. So tool number one is Obsidian, which we're going to get. But I want to show you how, if anybody has used Canva before, the way Canva, which is known for its poster design and all that stuff, it's come to life in terms of other elements as well. So here is Canva. Canva, people make it for posters, for graphics, but if you're not into making posters and graphics, don't worry about that right now. This is great for getting your workflow, your drush ideas down and beginning to construct it, because you could add elements that color the page for you so that you can highlight, you can do what you need. So let's begin. This is a new page. You go into File, you create a new page, and you're going to start with, let's say you want to write a drasha on, let's say, told us on red hair. Good, you have a drasha on red hair. Everybody wants to hear about red hair. Now, this element over here, the plus, lets you open up, and there's Magic Write, which Magic Write, you could train it to your data set, meaning to your tone of voice, the way you typically speak, and that might be helpful. You add headers, tables, divider, whatever it is, columns, quotes, mention. You could add a pie chart, whatever you want. It makes it so easy. I think it's just a beautiful interface. You could use Word, whatever you use, but I think this interface is so easy to use, easy to work with, easy to edit, and easy to add elements that you want. Let's say you want an element, you want to add an arrow in your drasha, so you know to focus on item A or B. So here you go, like that. Look how nice it is. You put there, you make it smaller, and you can add these elements. The integration with AI is phenomenal, but so on and so forth. So now let's begin to construct this drasha. Okay, let's get rid of this arrow here, and instead I want this inspiring thing across the page. Now, you have over here, where do you begin? So what I typically do is the following may help, and let's get out of the screen share and do the following. So number one is Obsidian is a, oh, you can't see the Canva, no problem. So what we'll do is like this. Let me go back into the share and show you the Canva, here we go. Here's Canva. Oh, they'll share. This is Canva. Let's just go to the new page so you see from where you could do this from. This feature is actually a free feature of Canva. So let's get rid of it and start over. Okay, go to Canva main page. Now, main page of Canva. Rabbi Dubin, do you see this on your end? You can see it, right?
Yes,
No,
yes.
Yes, okay, good. All right, so here we go. Let's go ahead and create a new design. There goes create a new design. Here is a doc. Okay, you go to a doc. This is where it happens. It's a beautiful system, and you add whatever you want. Look, you add the plus. Let's add a quote at the beginning. You could add a checklist. You'll do a checklist at the beginning. Checklist might be nice at the beginning. You could add what you need to do. Checklist, generate ideas, think of audience, worry about length. Okay. Again, it's a great way to integrate AI and also keep notes. Google Docs is doing a great job now of integrating. If you have Google Gemini, it's even more powerful, but we'll share those in a moment. So now let's just stay focused constructing the drasha. So here you are, you need to construct a drasha, you're 4 days out. And sometimes we back into it, we don't have the idea yet. So what you could do is this. Here's a little cheat. You go here and you go, let's say, told us Parsha summary. Okay, what you can do is like this: told us Parsha summary. You take the Chabad told us in a nutshell, and I'm going to stop sharing. But you go to told us, you look up told us Parsha summary. There's a Chabad has a page told us in a nutshell. You cut and paste the told us in a nutshell page from that because it gives you a quick summary, nice quick summary. Come back to Zoom here, and let me share. I'm going to go back to let's go to a GPT page. Will be good. You could then take it, and I'm going to open up my GPT and start a new page, and I'm going to share GPT with you. Let's share. Here we go. Replit login. Before we do that,
Rabbi
there's
Shlomo,
my
speaking for the a little uninitiated, you might have to explain a
yes.
little more the Obsidian, GPT,
I'm going to
Canva.
get to Obsidian. I said Obsidian. I'm going to get to. Well, Obsidian we have to get to later,
Just
but we're more advanced. I just put it as a place marker.
great.
But number one, Canva. Canva is your poster generating space. And please, Ray Penner, keep popping in if something's not clear. But what I'm doing is you go on Google, you look up Parsha summary. Get told us Parsha summary. At that point, you want to be able to take the Parsha summary, and one option is imagine if you were to sit for 2 hours and brainstorm every possible topic that could come out of relevance in the Parsha summary. Okay, that could be a great way to generate ideas of what you're going to talk about. But imagine you don't have 2 hours to sit down and do that. So you cut and paste the Parsha summary page, and then you go to GPT. Now, what is GPT, right? So you have what's called language LLM. You have these special language models, which, of course, I'm sure everyone here, if you're here, you probably have tried something with GPT. But the GPT is not the only skin in the game here. There's Claude, which I'm going to introduce you to, and there's the Arena. The Arena, to me, is the most powerful space for all of this. Rabbi Doom, what do you think is the best way to stay on a share mode of everything I'm going to? Is that just share entire screen? Does that work like that?
That's what I would typically do.
Okay, good. So, okay, this is good. We'll do this. So we're in, what I just did was I clipped from, here we go. We clipped from told us Parsha summary. You see that, Chabad? Good, there we go. Control C, I cut it. And now for the easiest way, you go into GPT. I cut and paste. And then you write the following. So you want to put some preamble. You do a shift and enter so it doesn't just generate it right away. Okay. And you say, this is a summary. This is a summary of Parshas Toldos. Use these topics to generate 20 creative and engaging subjects. I don't write for a sermon because it gets so sermonic right now. It gets like tikkun olam and all. No, what I do is engaging subject for a hot podcast. That it likes doing that for some reason. Podcast, it loves coming up with topics. And then you let it run. Now, so it's working on that. While it's doing that, I'm going to, oh, here it is. We're ready. There it is. Look at this. Take a look. Sibling showdown. Who came out on top? Divine design. Two nations born from one mother. Okay, this is 20 ideas. You can keep generating ideas till something clicks. You could take one now. Watch this. I'm cutting and pasting one and saying, give me 20 great podcast topics that would derive that would derive from this. I just took that one down, that one. Okay. So Ein Ladavar Sof, you could have 1,000 drasha ideas right away if you're stuck where to begin. Look at this. These are fabulous. Look at this here. Come take a look. Let's take a look at one. Let's take a look. Marriage choices. Esav's Chiti wives versus Yaakov's alliances. Compare Esav's marriages to Chiti women with Yaakov's strategic marriages. He was building a Masorah. He was building a legacy. What was Esav trying to build? A world to conquer. Meaning you can begin to think. Say, oh, that's speaking to me. Let's generate it. Now, that's just one way to just start generating ideas. Just keep popping them out. You could then go to Cloud. Cloud I see as GPT is the genius college kid at the table. Cloud to me is the more sophisticated emotional person. So we're going to get to a few things I say for you here soon, but let's take the topic that we had here. The role of prophecy, God's message to Rivka. Now, actually, I'm going to take the Chabad thing that we had here, and let's see if the generations are different.
In each case, Rabbi Shlomo, in each case, if you could indicate sort of whether there's a cost to using these things, whether there's a subscription, whether it's simple and free.
Yeah, good. GPT has a free model. There's a subscription model. That's around $20 per month. I'm going to show you the power of the subscription one. I am of the opinion that sell your home, sell your kids, sell everything just to get that. Like it is so profoundly powerful that the dividends I think pay off within a matter of days. Cloud also has a regular plan and a professional plan. The regular plan is just great and just fine for what you need. I've subscribed to everything just because that's what I do for a living, but I subscribe to things. Now here we go. Let's take a look. I'm putting it here, the same thing, and I say, since I know it's more sophisticated, I'm gonna do this. Here, come up with 20, let's go 12. 12 sophisticated and deep topics that would be interesting to talk about with my family from this Torah portion. Okay? So the nature of these, I find, Cloud is usually very, very deep. So here we go. You have nature versus nurture and personality development, Yaakov and Esau. That's a great subject. Prayer and patience in facing life's challenges. Yitzchak and Rivka's 20-year wait for children and the response to infertility of struggle. These are idea generators. That's what this is. That's what this does for you. This helps you brainstorm and accelerates the brainstorming and creativity process. So that I think is a massive gain. Let's go another layer. And by the way, there's a third. Here is the arena. I'm wondering to show you, but okay, I'll show you the battleground. This is Gewaldig now. Yeah, this is where I get excited every time I see this. What this is, this takes the 81, I think it's up to 73 language models. GPT's a language model, Claude, Grok, all those, they're language models. It takes them all, and you don't know which one you're getting, model A versus model B. And they run against each other, and you vote on which is better. So let's just try a practice run on this, how this works. Okay, enter your prompt. Okay, here we go. I am going to talk about why Jacob taking the birthright was not really a lie. Okay, was not really a lie. Can you construct 10 good reasons? Okay, 10 good reasons. Press enter, and now we're off to the races. Here goes the battle. The battle's on. Boom, boom, boom. You don't know who yet. You don't know who's running each one. So you're looking at it. You're looking at it. Again, we're talking to Rabbanim here, which means you guys could fact check the information. They say, well, it makes mistakes, right? I say it makes less mistakes than a second grade Rebbe. So if you trust your kids with that, you could look this over. So here we go. Now, you look through this, and here are 10 possible reasons I could argue that Yaakov taking was not really a lie, because Esav, right, denigrated his birthright. Rivka was involved. You could take all these. Now, 1 versus 2, which one's more sophisticated here? Before dividing the reasons, 10 reasons. Jacob's obedience to God. This got a conclusion and introduction. I like model B, so let's see who it is. I'm going to say B is better. Okay, model A is Robert. It's a very, very remote language model. Llama is one of the bigger ones right now, top 5 right now. So Llama 3.1. You can keep running it again, and what you could do is this is what sets you apart from anybody. You could take all of this, You cut and paste it, put it all into one document. Take what you got from GPT, take what you got from Claude, and then come back to GPT and then say, okay, I got a lot of ideas in this week's Torah portion. Can you eliminate the extraneous stuff, condense it into a nice list or database that I could use? Now watch this, the kind of databasing they could do for you. Because now, by the way, you have for future years, 40, 50, 60 topic ideas on every parsha. So here you go, you take cut and paste. Let's take that and we'll go to GPT and we will do this. Okay, we have it there. Okay, good. Watch what I write here. At this point, we have so many ideas, so many ideas. Can you database it? Can database it all for me into a nice looking chart? Okay, and this way you can keep it for future years. So it's not just for naught. You save the file, and you're able to look it up. There, oh, look at that! Look how beautiful that is. Tell Rabbi Dubin, did I see this?
It's pretty amazing.
It's amazing. I'm showing you nothing right now. What you're seeing is nothing. This is the tip of the iceberg. I'm getting so excited just talking about it. 1 second, I gotta calm down.
Glad to see you're excited. For those of you who are scribbling, trying to take notes to follow the speed at which Rabbi Einhorn talks, so we will, after this seminar, we will give you an AI produced list of the various websites that are being used and
Yes,
chats being used. That'll come. We'll do that afterwards. But in the meantime, just enjoy the show.
So no, there really is tachlitic stuff here. You had GPT, so let's follow the flow. You can write this all up in Canva. They have a new document feature, which is so nice. You are able to generate ideas in GPT. You could then sophisticate those ideas with Claude. So wash it up, and that's what I would say is a good workflow. Get your ideas in GPT by using the Chabad text of the summary or your own summary. Copy and paste it there. Then get the ideas, take the ideas and wash it up by going to Claude and say, can you make these ideas more sophisticated? Have them wash it up. Go to the arena and ask the arena the same question. Have them go at each other and give you a few answers. Cut and paste those. Come back to here and say, can you database all these for me? And now you have a nice running list. And imagine after that, you had a link to different websites you could add on your own that you've seen that could help you, that might help you with ideas. Okay, now let's say you're surfing the internet, you're going wherever you are, and there's an idea that captures your heart on a Tuesday. You weren't worrying about drosha, yep, but it spoke to you. You're like, oh my gosh, that's something. So where do you put it? How do you use AI to capture it and keep it? So watch this. Let's go, guy who is trying to live reverse aging. There's a guy who's trying to reverse aging. Brian Johnson. Okay, let's go to an article about him. How to reverse billionaire trying to stay young. Okay, so this guy's about, you saw this article on Brian Johnson. We'll keep it here for right now. Now, you go to this thing called mymind.com. Okay, mymind.com integrates with your browser. So I'm going to sign in. And here we go. What this does, it's a great capturing device for anything that you see on the internet, wherever it is, but integrates with AI and is searchable as well. So now I'm going to go back to this page and I'm going to add it. So let's go. There's a plus sign on top. Okay. It's saved. I'm going to add a tag. So let's do a tag. Let's say live forever. Live forever. Fine. And add any details. Longevity. 1 second. Longevity. Here we go. Let's move this over. There we go. That's why. Longevity. Okay. So now what you do is, what you can save is, you can go like this plus. Okay, plus, it's saving it to the files. Here, longevity. There we go. Longevity. And there we go. Fine. Now that it's saved, I go into my mind. And the note is going to be here, and you could search for whatever you have on your mind. So you see, here it is. Guy trying to reverse aging. It's right here, and it's in my mind already. Then you integrate down here with AI, and you can start talking to all the things that you saved and ask questions on them. AI code editor, fastest way to do research. All these websites that I've been saving, you're not just clipping it to some file on your phone somewhere that gets lost. You're clipping it to something that's active and alive that you can deal with. So here I look up longevity. There it is. It comes up. Young. Guy wants to stay young. There it is. It comes up. So you have multiple ways of getting to that same thing that you clipped while you're running around the internet, and then you don't know where to find it later on. So mymind.com, I think, is just an easy and amazing way. There's serendipity, which is good. Let's say you just need a creative boost. Okay. You go to serendipity and it starts throwing your own things at you, right? Turn anything, this website that I say, it's called My Lens. Turn anything cheat sheet fast. Let's keep that. I like that. What do average humans do every day? That was a psychology website. Auto, the future of SEO. SEO is how you are able to use certain words, so things that could appear in Google searches easier. I don't need that one. Go on. You can't hear it, but there's also ethereal music playing in the background to make it feel futuristic. I love schmaltzy stuff like that, but will not improve your life in any way. So I'm getting at it. Okay. Now, let's come over here, and we're in Canva. So now, you have generate ideas, think of audience, worry about length. Okay, let's try a different angle here. Let's say you have the content of your speech. I have a good one here. I'll take a Hanukkah idea. This is a Hanukkah Dvar Torah from Rav Amiel. Beautiful. He said, what was with Timu Kola, Timu Kola Shmanim? Why did they try to make the oil impure? So he connects it to the Gemara in Bava Basra that says that one wants to be Harotze Shiachkim, right? One who wants to become smart, right? Face the menorah. So that means that, right? Face the menorah. If you want to become smart, face the menorah. So he says beautifully, he says the Greeks had lightning in a bottle. They had wisdom. They had Socrates. And they killed him. Why? Because he asked questions. He made people think. The whole idea of the Torah is to engage you in asking questions, think, having a discomfort with what's happening in the world. That's the whole nature of what Torah is about. And it was antithetical to what they wanted, and therefore that's what the Timu Kol Hashmanim, with this, the rooting the oil and rooting the menorah. That was the obsession. It was the wisdom, the analytical wisdom that's able to ask questions and inquire. They wanted to stop that, and the proof is they killed Socrates. That's his idea, Romeo. Now, you have this idea. Here's the Dvar Torah. So I have the Dvar Torah. Let's say you wrote it long ago for a little kid's brochure bulletin. You cut and paste it. What you could then do is the following. This is a newly emerged. This is Google's LM notebook. This is unbelievable. You may have seen people chipping with this. It's gewaldic. Try Notebook LM. So we're going Google's Notebook LM. Okay, so let's try to play around with what they have here. Why is this great? So let's create new. You could upload whatever sources you want first so that it starts looking within that data set. For example, sometimes people are worried they're going to ask questions about Joseph and they're going to get answers about, about Mary and Joseph, Lahavdil, and oh no, it's going to be a mess. So the way you control for that is in a fancy level. If we were advanced seminars, I would teach you how to create a RAG, but that's not for now. But meanwhile, what you could do is you can create your own notebook where it's just using those notes. So what you can do is you can choose a file, and from those files, you can put those in, and it'll just look from there. So let's go, for example, so add a note. Here we go. Here, let's make a notebook on Hanukkah, Socrates. Fine, very good. Here it is. I put it in the note, and there's the information. It's now saved. Okay, so I have my note over there, and I would keep uploading a few sources around it. Once those are all loaded up, now what I'm able to do, I can convert all notes to a source. I could use it now as one document. There's tons of stuff that I could do. The most famous that people are using it for is people are now using it as you can actually generate, and it's just for fun, but it does help studying. There's tons of stuff that you can do with it. Let's see what you could play around with here. So let's go to the Notebook LLM. And here on the side, yeah, what you're able to do is you're able to convert it to whatever you want. So if you want to convert it to a fact guide, frequently asked questions, it's a great way to review anything. You could take your Mishnah Berurah notes and convert it into a fact guide. It's gewaldic, and that kind of stuff is amazing. So let's upload another source. Here, let's go to add a note. Add another note here. I'm going to cut and paste another Hanukkah Dvar Torah here. Dvar Torah here. Divrei Torah for Hanukkah. My Hanukkah master notes. I'll take, here's this, the Maggid of Chernobyl. Okay, cut and paste, and I'll put that over here. And now I have those two notes. So I have two written notes that are saved here. And you just lay it out, and they beautifully laid out the notes, fully integrated with AI, which means on the side, you're able to do whatever you want here. Hilchas Sukkah. I have all my Hilchas Sukkah. How many? I just loaded all these Sukkah notes. I put them all here, and then you could talk to it now. Now I can have a conversation with my colleague. Imagine having a conversation with your own Sukkah notes. Imagine they're a person. Hi, Sukkah notes. How are you? Good to see you. Let me ask a question. Um, what is the nature? What is the nature of the mitzvah of eating in the sukkah? Okay, you're not asking the internet. Yes, there is Google integration as much as you want, but it's asking your notes in your data set, which is incredible. It goes, and now you have the conversation. Here it is. Here it's going. The question is going to begin. It's going off of your notes. And that to me is very impressive. Here it is. It's going. Zip ties are used in modern day, and it's got the footnoting. It's going to note the fluke notes that I got it from, and this one and that. It's Gavaldic. The thing is amazing to me. Yeah, there's the kitschy stuff that everybody does. They're using it for to create. You can create synthetic podcasts, which are unbelievable and things like that. But what else can I show you here that I think will be important? That's Google's Notebook LLM. Again, let's think of what to use what for. Let's review.
Question for you, Shlomo.
Yes. Yes.
Does this work as well with Hebrew notes, with Aramaic, with etc.? I've generally found it does.
Notebook LLM is getting better every day as far as that. But let me show you what you can do with your Hebrew notes where it's impeccable. It was reading my Hebrew notes there, by the way, put together my Shemini Atzeres notes and all that, and that was fine. But look at this here. This is Claude. Let's take from a Sefer here. Here, I'm putting out here, Karen. Shlomo. There it is, Helena. There it is here. Karen Shlomo Chelik Aleph. Here's a Sefer I have in here. Okay? We're going to cut and paste them in. Take from it. Okay. I'm going to take a piece from the Sefer, and watch this now. We're going to go far into the Sefer. Let's take somewhere. Okay, good. There it is, the Chida. Here, Chiyav Onim Benetil Sidayim. Okay, take it here, take 4 paragraphs. You cut and paste. You come back up, you go into Claude. Here, translate, and leave nothing out. I always had to leave nothing out because they love condensing it and they might emphasize what you don't want to emphasize. Okay. I let it go. Claude is very good with translations. Very good. Okay, the core question wants to eat bread without ritual. Is there merely filament or is it actively you understand? It's chopping the lumdus. But we're going to go one step further here. While it's doing that, and in GPT, I tried to create the ultimate lamdan. I gave it a rag with a data set of some of the greatest lumdish, lumdish farm, and you could, let's say you're stuck with a big kasha. Now this is where it gets tricky because it takes away the effort and some of the amelus. Again, that has to be talked about and figured out. But you could have it analyze a problem and solve it, but think in answers only in terms of systems that we use. Rabbi Shlomo, I called it. Here it is, Rabbi Shlomo. It's not open to the public yet. He uses the Volter-Brisker method. This is good for me to show you. I'll tell you why. Because it's a few things you could point out as one. Number one is, I called this method the Volter-Brisker method because I wanted it to not pick up from something that was already out there. I needed a name that wasn't something that existed. So Volterbrod, where'd I get it from? When I was a kid, the neighbor came over saying, they broke your window with the Volterbrods. We couldn't figure out what he meant for weeks until we realized the kids were rollerblading into our window. So that was the Volterbrod. So the Volterbrod-Brisker method, and Rabbi Shlomo is a name that doesn't exist. So it's not going to pick from one rabbi or another rabbi. I loaded up every, framework of lumdus. Rabbi Bechhofer has a great article online of explaining all the different types of lumdus. What you do is I'll put what we just got from Claude. Take your translation from Claude, and let's see where we put that. Claude was over here. This one, here it is. Take it, and let's go back to GPT, and come here. And now, please analyze this and come up with different approaches than the one given. Okay, here we go. So now it's using only lumdus frameworks. Again, how does this Kevin construct a drasha? I'll tell you how. Let's say you're stuck on a problem and you want to begin to think in different ways and have it think for you. Look, Chefza Gavra. See what's happening here? Are you freaking out as much as me? Because I'm going nuts. So Chefza Gavra, it can think in terms of that framework. It think Kiyum and Maisa. It could think in terms of that, help you think out those problems. The Rav would have shot us, I think. Simon Siba model. It's forget what I did here. You can
So
load what
what is loaded up into what are how
good.
many things have you loaded up into it?
I simply took PDFs of online, like a Kira article that analyzed what's Simon versus Siba.
Uh-huh.
I took whatever I could find that clearly articulated Orthodox Lumdis thinking. And Rabbi Bechhofer had a lot of stuff online on that, on the
Uh-huh.
HDAS, the Aspaklaria with Q website.
So
So
you
that one.
created sort of your own ChatGPT section here. Is that
Yes,
what
they're called, the
you're saying?
fancy way of calling it, the right way to do it is called a rag. Rag is the right way. We could even do a separate, you need a separate seminar how to create a rag, but you create a solid
Uh-huh.
rag and it pulls from that and thinks from that and speaks from that.
And then
Um,
it doesn't pull from outside of what you've
it's not
loaded
pulling from
into.
outside. It's not pulling from outside at all. Here it says using Rav Schechter's idea of mice and Kim. I add some Rav Schechter notes in there that I put on there. So it's giving you frameworks to think. The scary thing about this is that like you take a sefer like Kabbat de Kashesa, where there's 100 questions that are giving you famous answers of different achronim through the years, and it's coming up with different answers. It's amazing, and the answers are amazing. And people, it was like sad at first. Like people sweated over this for 20 years to come up with the teretz, and here it is in seconds. And my son had a good idea. My son said, "Okay, all is not lost. Turn to GPT and say, okay, shkoyach, well done. Can you create a curriculum that makes my mind think like a lamdan?" Now we've upped the game. Now that's already I see something as valuable. It's an amazing curriculum they're building out, which I've been tweaking with the different, with Claude and everything, and to build a sophisticated lumdis curriculum around it. So that's with that. The opportunities are endless. I also find the following. I was stuck on a problem at the end of Vayechi. I forgot what the issue was, and I accidentally had one of my other apps on the side, my GPTs that I created. And this is you could take from here the mashal of how you could really use this. I had done a consulting job for somebody who was an architect, and they're very creative, and they want something which thinks like them so they can give it to their clients as like if you have a question for Cesar, whatever his name was, and you can ask the architect generator questions about aesthetics, and it has his aesthetic in mind. So I created it for him, no problem. I had it still open by accident. Instead of I thought I was on a clean page of GPT, and I put in the problem in Vayechi, a problem, famous problem in the Achronim raise on the Parsha, and I put it in, and it gave an answer from a data set, not the same data set, but just a way of thinking of the world. And it's funny, it got the idea of thinking of a different answer, meaning because it was an out of the box framework. It wasn't other text, chas v'shalom. It was just thinking about things from a different point of view, and it's like having a conversation, talking and learning by a chuppah. Let's say you're talking and learning at a chuppah with somebody, and you share them your problem, and they come back with you something you weren't expecting. They're a creative thinker. So this thing is Gavaldic because it gets your mind going in 1,000 different ways, and because of that, there are endless ways of learning and constructing. So
How many
coming back
rags
now,
have you created?
what's that?
How many rags have you created?
Around 40 at this point.
Wow.
40 shmatas I created.
And
So
those are
here we
things
go.
that at some point your business company will market and that can be shared with others.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm getting them all ready to those the critical amount. And what I've just finished last week is took a lot of work and a lot of time, where you could talk to all of Shas, meaning where you could have a conversation. You come home, you say, "Look, I had a hard day today. The Balabatim are making me crazy. Abaye, what say you?" And it pulls from Abaye's data set, whatever Abaye has said in Shas, and generates thoughts around Abaye's content. So again, it's not truly Abaye, of course, and anyone at the head on the shoulders knows it's not Abaye, but it's a great way to review Gemara. Number two, it's a great way to get timeless, of course, our timeless wisdom and pull it out, or someone just getting an introduction to Gemara thinking or whatever it is. And worst case scenario, the Koreans will love it too. So there is these ways of accessing data on such a deep level that it's amazing. It's Gavaldic. I was blown away by it. It took time, but it came out well. But yeah, those are the types of thing we would share. So now I want you to see this, what Obsidian is. And I want you to see to Obsidian because I think anyone who is a Rav should be using it. It is the number one way, in my opinion. Yeah, let's go slow. What's Obsidian? Vos hates Obsidian. So let's open a new page. Okay. Shkoyach. There's the page. Okay. It's just notes. That's all it is, right? Just notes. Here we go. Yona refuses his calling. Good. I'm taking notes. Someone's giving a shear. Okay, and then the davar here, davar shalom b'olam. Fine, there's that. Fine. Okay, I'm taking notes, taking notes, taking notes. So let's go back to here. How are you? Here we go. How are you? Okay, it's just notes. What are you showing me? A database. It's the most powerful note-taking platform in the world, in my opinion. It's created by the people from the people, and that means it can become whatever you want. So what is it? All of a sudden, I have some ideas, train of thought. I want to start thinking it out. I press my Alt and Q button to record. So here it goes. I'm recording. I want to talk to you today about why Avram Avinu was motivated by a bira dolekes, why he saw this palace alit, and all of a sudden he said, we got to do something for the world. Okay, let me stop the recording. Okay, it's processing the audio using OpenAI, which is GPT's Whisper, which means it's the most precise model that we have access to in terms of, in terms of that content. So here it is. There it is. See on the screen? Bira dolekes. It got everything. It got exactly what I said. It's impeccable. It's picking up the Hebrew. It's picking up the back and forth between English and Hebrew. It's Gavaldic. It's incredibly Gavaldic. So now I could take it and watch this. I cut and paste it. Now let's open up a new page in Obsidian. Okay. Again, it's just a note. It's just a databasing file. Okay. So I'll open here a page. Here, I'll put it here. There it is. There's the note. Now all of a sudden, I need to construct a whole thing on this. So watch this. I highlight it. Let's go back to here. I'm highlighting it. I am now going to open AI. I go, let's generate a new article based around this. A whole article will now be generated based on this using my passkey to open AI to GPT, meaning it'll be sophisticated as GPT was. Look at this. Here, introduction to Shkoyach. It's tying in Shkoyach to Yonah and Avram Avinu and giving you a whole drasha. I'm about to faint. I don't know if you are. It's just me. I sound mashiga. But it to me is Gavaldic. And I could just pop it into the note. I could say, okay, let's put it into the note, replace original note. This is much better, the one they did. Okay, replace successfully. And now what happens is they put it into the note and you have it there for in perpetuity. Okay. Um, it's incredible. Here, let's cut and paste it. I don't know why I didn't put it in, so I'll put it in. That's fine. It's no problem.
And this
Oh, there it is.
is
Sorry. It's
Obsidian
lagging.
is Obsidian something that is free? Is it something you have to?
Obsidian is free. The only part that's not free, it's not that expensive when you do pay, is the syncing between phone and computer. That's the part, the syncing. Otherwise, it's free. There are 3,000, no, 2,000 plugins. What's a plugin? A plugin is you want to integrate 25 different AI systems. That's plugin. Plugin is you want a better way to make tables. Here's a plugin. A plugin. Look how many plugins I have. It's too much. You're not supposed to have this. This is not healthy. This is not well. This is Gans Mashiga. But anyways, this over here, look at this plugin. It lets me take all my notes that are in here and then visualize how they interact with each other. You ready for this? This is where everyone begins to faint. Okay, look at it. Here are all the notes and how they're interacting with each other. So when you have an idea, you see how they're connecting, how the nodes all connect with each other. This one seems to connect with a lot of nodes. This one seems to connect with a lot. I can go in and visualize all my notes and get ideas. And if you do this well, I didn't do this well. I was just learning as I was doing it. So it's all over the place. The brain is all over the place. It's a place to hold the thoughts in your brain and to see how they're all interacting. But the right way to do it is if you tag your notes properly. And I have a whole tagging system now. That's not for now. It's too much. That it's much more clear. So here you have this. See, this one's going to be better, much clearer. You could see what's what here. You can go in, you can go further, and you could take a look. Oh, over there's gamification. In education, there's discipline in education, and you see what things connect with others. So some people like that, some people don't. It's a way to visualize. This here in Obsidian is a canvas. Okay, it's a canvas, not Canva, canvas. This is where I have those different ideas for the drushas that you need to put together. So watch this. We are going to create a new canvas. Here, let's open a new canvas. Here, open canvas. Create a new canvas. It's a great way to brainstorm. Mind map. Drush ideas are coming up. Okay, let's put an idea here. The lentil soup. Okay, lentil soup. Fine. I'm going to take over here. I put over here another card. I add a card. Was it from Schwartz Deli? They have a good lentil soup. Fine. The other question that comes up because of that is here, add a card. Is it thick? Is it thick or is it thin soup? Okay, good. Great. Givaldic. Add color over here. If I want to color red, I want to focus on it later. Fine. You can make all these. You can add images. Mind mapping is so easy with this, and it's AI integrated as well. I'm going to show you another piece here, and then we'll move off of Obsidian. Okay, you have here, let's
Before you
open
can
up
move off Obsidian, though, you're going to have to start again. I think a bunch of our participants are a little lost on the role of Obsidian per se.
Good.
I think we
Let's go in
understood the
order again.
previous ones a little better. Maybe just give us some
Fine.
of the Rashi Prakim on Obsidian and what you're using it
Okay,
for.
Obsidian is, think of it like this. Microsoft Word. That's all Obsidian is. It's Microsoft Word. But you imagine if you strip down Microsoft Word down to the studs and then you built it up from there to your liking, to your specifics, to what you found most helpful. Because look, if I go to Microsoft Word now, there's a lot going on here. There's too much going on. I got this, I got that. I didn't ask for half these things. Do I ever use this feature, the protect, the check accessibility? Yeah, and you could eliminate, you could put in, you could change it all, you could do all of that, of course. And there's now GPT integration up here. You see Ghostwriter, Autopilot, Preview. Oh, by the way, this is good for everybody. Let me show you Preview. This you can add in
By the way,
Microsoft
but
Word.
before you go to that tangent,
Yeah, yeah.
let's
The wormhole.
explain what Obsidian is.
Good, fine. Okay. All right, calm down, Einhorn. Here I go. Okay. So Obsidian is like Microsoft Word. Okay, it's just a note databasing. It's Mamish Notes. Mamish Notes. One, hello. Two, shkoyach. Okay. Three, RCA sponge cake. Okay. It's just notes. That's all it is. Simple. Now, what do you wish you could do with your notes? What do you dream that you could do with your notes? Well, I wish that I could make a table out of my notes. Okay, I'm going to insert a table. There's a table I can make. Hello, shkoyach. And they're down there 4 times, 6 times in the parsha comes up, and then there, and then RCA comes up 1 time, and then down here I could do, you understand? I can make a table. Okay, good. What else do you want to do with your notes? I want to generate what I have into a whole article. No problem. I show you how to do that. I want to be able to see how all my notes interact with each other. No worries, we could do that, the graph view. Again, think of it like it's Microsoft Word stripped down to the studs, and now dream whatever you wish you could have had in terms of making your life easier. I need to find that file that I wrote. I remember I wrote down from Rav Lichtenstein about why Yaakov saw Malachim, again a second time, right? It's a beautiful word. Where did I put that? Where am I going to find that? So the whole point of this also is it makes it much easier to find everything because they're integrated organization systems. I can teach you the para method. The para method is how I organize notes. I can find things whenever I want. I don't lose them. The way Dropbox is, it's very easy to lose notes, but Dropbox has GPT integration now also, but slow. So again,
But
let's review.
are you uploading all your files into Obsidian or Obsidian set checking your computer? How does that work?
I'm uploading into Obsidian. I tell everyone who's starting Obsidian, do not load all your files into there. This is your chance to start over and load them with purpose. What I mean is, I will take one Hanukkah note. Here it is. Hanukkah, here, Dvar Torah for Chag. Let's take the Socrates one here with the Rav Amiel. Okay, I cut and paste it. Go one note at a time because now you can think differently here. The way I put titles in Obsidian is don't come up with a catchy title. Forget the catchy title. Come up with titles that'll have every parameter you think you'll search for later, almost like a tagging system. So Rav Amiel, Socrates, Hanukkah, wisdom, um, and here's what it's over because it's blocking me here. Wisdom, and then fine. I'd put in there probably Baba Basra. Here, Baba Basra. Fine. Now that you have it, I put it here, and there's the note. Okay, there's the note. I'm going to add also, I have a tagging system, which I'll share with you another time, but I have a tagging system that lets me also locate here where it was when I heard it. Because often you remember things. Oh, I remember I tripped that day. Tripped like a fool. Okay, so it's now tagged, associated with the event. It's got every name possible. I'll never lose it. But here is where Obsidian destroys everybody else. And this is it right here. Watch this. I know that in this Dvar Torah, I have a few nuggets that later could become pieces of other drushes. What is it? Let's say it's here. Small jar pure oil is not an idea. Let's get an idea. Let's say there's an idea in there. The power of free will. The power of free will. I love free will topics. Oh, I see the phrase free will in there. Watch what I do. I put two brackets. I put two brackets. And now this note is alive. What that means is I click it, and now I have free will as a separate database. So as things come up in free will, I can add them in, and it will connect back to that note. So your ideas will all be linked together and sync together at any given time. So you're always constructing drushes while you're sleeping. You're writing one drush and not realizing it's constructing for you all your notes together in a way that it collides. That's not something that Dropbox can do for you at all, at all, at all. Google Docs are starting to work with that, with the sidebar on Google Docs. Google Gemini is gewaldic, by the way. I'm going to show you that. Oh, it's 8:50. I want to take some questions. Okay, I'm yapping here. Go ahead. Where are we? How do I open this up? Let's see here. Stop the share. Okay. Rabbi Dubin, how do we do this part?
I think you can answer them live. First question was, when does this cross the line of being Genevas Das and unethical?
As I started at the beginning, let all the great now again, Geneva's das. You're leafing through Svarim and coming up with ideas. Why is idea generation any different here than Dover B'Shem Amro? You want to say that they organized the way of thinking, your mind in a way? I mean, it's organizing your thinking. So far, the things we've done today is organize your thinking. Getting an answer in lumdis from Rab Levish Maibis, I think that's you can't. That's just it's disingenuous to pass that off as your own
Right.
kiddush.
I think
That I
that's
think,
really the issue. The question is,
yeah,
to what extent are you saying that's your own? I actually used ChatGPT a few weeks ago in a very tight situation to come up with some Homer Ladrush for the Rabbanim. And I told him I did that. And I actually got some pushback. Why are you saying that? But it was there was no
yeah.
time to do it in regular means. I just had to record into ChatGPT some random thoughts. It was too quick after the Amsterdam pogrom. But I think that's where many of the ethical issues are. You creating this as your own material, and that's in education also, where the ethical issues really lie.
Very good, very good. I think maybe we can make that chiluk. Content versus organization. Maybe the things that help you organize and structure, that doesn't need to be B'Shem Amra. But
I can hear that. Right,
content,
right.
yeah.
Is this ChatGPT.com site databasing the ideas from Emirena AI, the subscription edition? I think that's where.
Hold on. This is so good. It's so good. Okay. Just subscribe to GPT. Just subscribe. Do me a favor. If you're having trouble, maybe I'll start a fund for the RCA for anyone who needs. It's so good. It's going to change your life. Let me tell you what.
This is
Listen to
the
this.
regular ChatGPT site, and to subscribe,
Subscribe because the new
correct,
model that came out, the
correct. And
access
it's
to the
what?
new
It's
model
about
was 2 weeks
$40 a
ago.
month, correct?
Yeah, I didn't even use the new model yet for you guys. The new model that came out 2 weeks ago, there's a data limit, so I'm not wasting it on little. We have to use it right. We're gonna use it today. We're gonna use it wisely. Okay, so it's so powerful. It is so powerful. But the thing about it is also what's happening now. It's learning your memories and it's learning you, which people get afraid of. I don't care about this stuff. I'm not afraid
Mm-hmm.
for them to know all of me. So it's going to learn all of my memories. Now, what I could do is I could turn and say, watch this exercise. This alone was worth today. Okay, GPT, you know me already. We've been talking a lot. Shkoyach. Come up with an image that represents what you think I look like. Okay? So it comes up with the image of, someone who's a rabbi with Torah flying in the air and like robotic things happening. Okay, cool. It sees that I'm doing a lot of that. Okay. Now that's neither here nor there. That's just fun. Two more fun things you could say. Come up with a crest for what I represent. You come up with a keychain for. Okay, but that's just. But here's the part. Now you turn and say the following. You turn and say, okay, I need to make some extra parnasa. Knowing what you know about me and what I represent, come up with 20 potential side gigs based upon what I can do. And then boom, 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 boom. It's meaning it's learning you. So it knows you a little bit and it could think creatively. That together, imagine having this life coach who walks around with you everywhere, who can give you advice on this, advice on that, in terms of useful strategic things, in terms of your role as rabbi, as CEO type almost. It's so powerful. It is so
So it
powerful.
knows you because of all of your interactions with it, not because of what
Yeah,
it's searching about you or et cetera. It knows
no,
you
not at
based on all
all.
the interactions. Correct.
Yeah, and you could clean up those interactions. If you wanted to think that you're a Yemenite scholar when you're not, you could tell it, I'm a Yemenite scholar, and that's what it'll think. You could feed the
Mhm.
memories too, what you want.
Right. Halavai,
Uh,
this would work with people. That would be, that's next from Shpait. Okay, next question. Does Notebook LLM create self-grading quizzes?
Okay, everybody's asking about the educational piece. I left off the educational piece off my list of topics today
Right.
because there's the teaching the adults
Right.
creating drushes,
Correct. That's not the main
but
subject today.
the schooling stuff is great. There are so many educational tools now that I created a bot that what it does is, and this helps in a share for your show as well. Let's say you're coming into a classroom and you got 23 students. They gave you 23 kids this year, and they want you to teach a tough subject, and you have kids who are off the wall. You have all different learner profiles. You could back end at the beginning of the year the different neuropsych evals, the different types of minds, and you take your lesson plan the night before, you put it into the bot. It will take your lesson plan and divide it up or give you eights as how to teach the same thing for 9 different ways. So it's Gavaldi because now the teacher has all the pressure because now they know how to reach that kid in the back beyond just charisma. They can reach that kid in the back because they get and they don't have to worry about
Wow.
creating 14 lesson plans. It's too much. There's no way. So what we can do in the classroom now is incredible.
That's amazing, but that is right for another time. A
Yeah.
question here. I thought you subscribed to ChatGPT. There's no data limit. You mentioned a data limit.
Yeah, the data limit on the new model. Model is here. Let's go to share screen for a second. Let the questions bleed over. Here, let's go share. Okay, and now let me show you the new model. We're gonna waste it on this. Here we go. Let's go. Um, Okay, I think I'm allowed back into it. Let's see. Okay, GBT Mini. No, it's not. Reset at 12:58 p.m. Okay, come back tonight. Come back tonight, 1 a.m. I'll see you. Resets. It's so good. It's so good.
So
It's
there are some data limits even on the
no, the data limits are even subscribed, but only on the new model they haven't released yet.
but only on
But
the
you
new.
get first access. You get first access to the newest model, and then you get on. It's
Okay.
you can use DALI without reservation. DALI's great to be able to generate art. But go ahead. We'll get more questions.
Okay. So let's say we have 7 minutes left or 8 minutes left in this first section before we take a few minute bio break, as they call it today.
Yes.
Let's try to translate what we did from Shlomo Einhorn to normal people, and kind of chazer, bisikum, as Rav Lichtenstein would say. The different models that you've presented us and sort of what
Good.
each one would be used for.
Good. If you like to put your notes into and generate your Drusha notes into something colorful and visual and a lot, I like using Canva's new doc feature. It's so good, and there's AI integration there as well. You could put pictures, you could put arrows, and it makes it look nice, and it's easy to collaborate as well. Let's say you're working on the Drusha together with a rabbi from another city. It's a very great collaboration tool. So I like writing my Drusha now. I start in Canva. Now, that's one. We talked about needing to generate creative ideas. Take the Parsha summary, pop it into GPT, generate 20 subjects from there. You could even then make them more sophisticated by going over to Claude. And then after your Claude, for 40 more ideas, just go into the arena. That's fun to see language models battle each other. Then take all of those, come back to GPT and say, make me a nice database and get rid of the extra stuff and organize this so I could use this for future years. It'll make you a beautiful chart database. You save that in your notes and you have no end of topic ideas. By the way, anytime something's going on in the world, you could then take those ideas and say, here are all the possible ideas. Which ones here connect most to the fact that there's now an epidemic of Tostito chips in Florida, whatever it is, and they'll tell you
Mhm.
the ones that are most connected, and now it'll tell you
And
where to
that
go
you
with
would
it.
do in GPT.
Yeah, that you can do GPT or Claude or even Google Gemini.
Mhm.
Okay, then where Google Gemini thrives, I'm not going to show you that now. Google Gemini thrives in terms of explaining things that you need to go scaffolding, education. Scaffold education, Google Gemini is the best. I could take anything and understand how it works and operates and then learn it slowly and surely. That's that. Then after we did that, the schmearing, we looked at Obsidian. Obsidian to me is my favorite thing in the world. The learning curve at the beginning is steep, but once you get it, there's no turning back. I will never use Word or anything else as my main source of writing information. The way Obsidian is able to organize, catalog, AI integrate, have visual planes for me to work with and be able to utilize, Ein Ladavar Sof. So that's why I like using Obsidian. The PDF saver in Obsidian is so amazing. Lets you, you could take a picture of a safer and then you load it into there and you're able to color on it beautifully and then have the notes integrate from the other notes that are there. You can make clickable sections that connect the notes. You see them all in one page. Let me show you this here, and then we'll bump that up there. So let's here is yeah. Let's go to Canva again, and this is worth a canvas. Create a new canvas. So we had here this where I showed you could create chicken soup.
You're not shared right now.
I'm not share. Good. Okay, we're going back to share. And this is a good way to end this one here. So let's go to the Zoom and then share and then screen. Okay, good. Now that we're shared. Okay. So I'm Obsidian. So I did a new canvas. Chicken soup, right? Okay. Well, I'll do one more card. Kartoffel. Okay. Kartoffel. I'm not sure how to spell it. Kartoffel. Now that we have that, the chicken soup and the kartoffel, I say, wait a second. I have a note card on this. Let me go to my vault. I have one on here. We worked on this. Hello, this is my drush. Have I worked on that before? There's the card that we did before. It's here. I can begin to put all my cards. Imagine stacking your 6 cards in front of you where you have a note on this, a note on that, because you're putting together Shabbos Gold Drasha. And it's an amalgamation of 4 different speeches that you might have given. So you put it here, you put it here, put it there, and now you can see
That's
the
the
notes in front of
advantage
you.
of Obsidian, is to be able to bring together and to link various thoughts that are going on in your brain.
Linking your thinking. That's it. Linking your
Linking
thinking is the
your
phrase that all the Obsidian junkies. There's conventions. There's also like Alcoholics Anonymous. There's Obsidian addiction meetings. By the way, you should know this. The really real thing. They
Yeah,
get
we
together.
can see who might need that. Yes. We could see who might need. Now, let me just ask one other question on behalf of the
Yeah,
bewildered crowd. I think
yeah.
that we all understand that many things that we struggle to do for hours, we might be able to do now in seconds. But there is a learning curve, perhaps a greater learning curve on Obsidian than using Canvas and Canva and GPT and Claude and other things we've been introduced to. What are the best ways other than using your services? And certainly, Rabbi Einhorn will be open for business during and after this seminar. But what are good ways for someone to learn how to use Claude other than playing with it?
If you didn't hear a word I said today at all, and all you heard was this thing I'm gonna tell you now, this is Gavaldic. Okay, it's a simple hack anybody can do. Go to GPT and whatever you want to learn, Claude, Obsidian, this, that, say, this is what I know today. Ich bin an Ama Aretz. Be honest with it. Open up. Tell them what you are. And say, I want you to teach me this, but we're going to go 1% more each day. Do not move forward till you're sure that I know what you taught me today. Accelerate 5% today. Go at your pace. Take your time. And that's the way you learn.
So it
1%.
will show it to you in a chat GPT interface, in the sense of just it'll give you an outline of words and it'll show you what to do. Or it won't integrate with the programs themselves and show you in the programs, right?
No, but it can give you illustrations because GPT integrates with DALL-E, and it can give you an illustration of
Hmm.
it.
Hmm.
Oh, there's so much to show you. There's so much. I
So,
can make
so
a video.
anything we're learning today that we didn't understand, the point is the very same tools can teach it to us in a fairly short amount of time.
I was, let me tell, I'm telling you this directly. I was not tech savvy in any way prior to 2 years ago. In any way. If you would have told me that I could create rags and I can create these different software and I could put it together, I would have said you're nuts. The point is, you could learn anything you want now at an accelerated rate. You could take all of Art Scroll's introductions from each of the Masechtas and say, organize these notes and teach it to me in a way that I will get it clearly and without fail. And imagine you have just this organized introductory knowledge of every single Masechta in a beautiful way. You could learn anything now. The point is, take all of Kutcher, take Kutcher notes, somebody, put them in and say, it's a lot of material, it's a lot of stuff here. Just break it down for me, organize it. Do not take things from outside sources. Thank you. Go.
Just take this, and it'll give it to
Yeah.
you either as text, as a response, or you can ask it to give you a document, and then you print the document.
You could tell it the way you want the output. We didn't even talk about that. You need to
Hmm.
sharpen GPT so that it focuses. Because when you talk to it, it's looking everywhere. To focus it, say, imagine you are a master educator, trained in also human psychology and modern brain research. So what it does is you now pack into it the greatest educator you could imagine, and then say, teach me X and Y. And then it's explosive. I mean, I'm just giving you little crumbs here, but that's what it could do. That's what it could. There's no,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, our minds are exploding.
yeah, mine's
And
on.
that's what we're gonna do. So let's take a 10-minute break just to bring down the
Speak.
minds exploding, take out some fire extinguishers, And then we're going to go at 15 minutes after the hour. We will continue. If there are questions, you can load up questions during the 10-minute break. And we'll be back in 10 minutes for part 2 of this session. Thank you very much. We're ready to go on part 2. Thank you to Rabbi Shlomo and anyone who's tuning in now. Our first session dealt with using AI to generate ideas for drushos, to formulate your ideas, to bring together your notes, to what was the phrase they used for Obsidian?
Linking your thinking.
Linking your thinking. There's a lot to think about. But we're going to go further. The second half of our presentation today is going to deal with how to use it from the organizational side, both creation of flyers, I assume, the databases and things of that nature. So let's jump right into it.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Okay, again, I think Rabbi Penner, Rabbi Dubin, keep me on the tracks. If people are not clear on things, we'll make clearer. Okay. By the way, Rabbi Penner, tell me if I'm wrong. I think the way to do this actually might be, nothing might turn up. But, if anybody has questions about areas they struggle in Rabbanis, that might be helpful. Start thinking of them now, and I could even do that midway and work backwards into the lessons for each things. That might be a good format too.
In terms of particular areas on the organizational side that provide challenge.
I'll give you a mashal. You're talking to one of the Balabatim. He said, one of the ways we're going to get organization in this show is we need to set up some KPIs. Okay. You turn to him and say, yeah, I agree about that. You look and say, what in the world is KPI? Okay, we're gonna say, oh yeah, we're gonna set good KPIs here. Okay, so but if you're an authentic person, you would say, what is a KPI? We'll say it's KPI, and they say it's a key performance indicator. Okay, good. You go to GPT and you say, I want to set up KPIs for the shul this year, my synagogue. These are our goals. Our goals are to be more inclusive. Our goals are to be more spiritual, whatever it is. Set up a KPI system that has accountability and benchmarks. And this way you could set up goals over the course of a year. That's the prop I'm giving you in a general conversation, but I'm letting you know the organizational side here is going to be just as powerful, if not more powerful, than the things you could do in terms of content creation. So let's dig in. Okay, number one is every rabbi loves to avoid the difficult issues by busying themselves with flyers. That's our favorite way we deal with, I can't deal with the person that does that. I have a flyer to make today. Okay, my first advice is off-book the flyers as soon as you can. It's making you avoid all the things you need to do. But anyways, I took the flyer, which the RCA admittedly spent only a couple minutes on, as they should. They should be focusing on making sure the webinar works. Will Einhorn get to the thing on time? These are more important things, and not the flyer. So I took the flyer, and whoever produced the flyer, my apologies ahead of time. What I did was I loaded it up into the feature that lets you attach photos onto GPT, and I said, critique this flyer. And that's where you really learn how to become a great flyer maker, which is the goal of every great rabbi, to become a great flyer maker. So look what it did. You go over here, you go to GPT, I loaded the flyer, and
please share your screen.
Yeah, I'll share the screen. There we go. Share the screen and good and share. Good. Desire good. Now we are here. I attached the flyer down. You see this button? I'm using a too fancy of a model. Let's go to regular model, and you could attach the flyer. By the way, do you all see this thing here? Look at this here. This is where Google goes to die. GPT just added a web searching feature. You click it, and it'll also search the web as you put in the information. I'm going to not comment on it because the opportunities of what that will do are so powerful. But let's shut that off for now. You add the attached file, which I did, and I asked for flyer review and feedback. This is, I think, a healthy way to use it. Make your, skeleton flyer, put it in and say, look, time formatting. It said that the time formatting is off the way it did it. So that's how I knew that the time formatting was off in the poster, LA versus New York. Headline clarity. AI in the rabbi is catchy, but it could benefit from more specificity. Vagueness in the session titles. AI disclaimer. Look at this. The humor in the disclaimer at the bottom. This flyer was not great. May detract from the flyer's professional tone. That's fabulous. I liked it for what it's worth. Now, This gives me an opportunity to pause. Rabbis who are not funny need help with humor. Okay, don't worry, there's a solution. Number one, I created a comedy generator bot. But, bot aside, you can take the Chabad summary of the Parsha, pop it in, and say, imagine you are a master comedic writer and you are a combination of Jackie Mason meets Mel Brooks meets whoever you want from now, Jerry Seinfeld. Come up with, don't let it come up with the jokes. They'll never be funny yet. Come up with 10 possible areas of humor. Here, let's take the Chabad. Let's take the Chabad. Chabad's getting a lot of plugs today. Okay, let's go to here it is. Told us in a nutshell. Fine. There it is. Take it. Watch this. This is Gavaldic. Come here. This to me is more important than flyer generation. Okay, you go over here. This is the key. This is really why they have us in the Rabbinate to begin with. So you put this here and you put the summary. Okay, this is how you use it. Watch this. Come up with 10 to 20 areas that I can mine for humor in this week's I have a thing in the way here, moves over in this week's Torah portion. Here, you should focus it. Imagine you are. That's always better. Here, 1 second. Imagine you are a comedic genius. Here you go. Jackie Mason meets Jerry Seinfeld. I picked 2 clean ones. A couple of 20 areas. Okay, watch this. Now, instead of jokes, it's giving you funny areas to think about so that you at least have some. Look at this. Your sibling rivalry on stage. Yaakov and Esav were fighting. Can you imagine Rivka's ultrasounds looked for a pay-per-view wrestling match? Forget the line, but that image of what was going on down there, it's funny material. Rivka had a favorite son and was subtle about that. She's the original Jewish mother. Yaakov, you're my nachas. Esav, he's a project. I don't like when it creates jokes. I'd rather create themes of areas where you could be funny with in the parsha, and whatever. You get the point. I don't know. I love that stuff. And you keep that as a rider paper in front of you, like on the side, so you have areas you can dip into if you feel you need to throw that in there, or areas you can go. I mean, this is Gavaldic. There's no one who can't be funny with some of this stuff. You'd have to really blow it. A lot of it's timing. Here, watch this. Watch what you can do. Yaakov came out clutching Esav's heel. The ancient version of Mom, he's touching me. Okay. Watch this, what you can do. Let's say you're terrible at comedic timing. Your timing's off. Help me with my comedic timing when I deliver this. Very happy we're dealing with this in an RCA. Rabbinic session, here we go. And look at it. I'm saying anything could be done. That's the point from an organizational setting. That's the marshal. That's the takeaway here. Okay. By the way, you see what it's doing? Expert role, comedic coach, objective. I train it to do that. I'll show you how to do that soon. Before delivering the punchline, briefly set up the absurdity. This is teaching you how to be a comedian right here. Set up the absurdity. Pause before the punchline. Change your tone for the punchline. Exaggerate it. Mom, he's touching me. Add physicality. Mom, he's touching me. Whatever you want. Okay, enough of that. Now, you get the point. Now,
back to flyers.
What? Yeah, back to focus Einhorn. Okay, back to flyers. Here we go.
I'm the presentation coach today.
Imagine you are Rabbi Mark Penner, genius.
I am the master presentation coach. Okay, here we go.
Okay, now you can. This is Midjourney. Midjourney, I love it. Midjourney.com. The problem with Midjourney, it's hard to create an effective prompt that gets you good stuff. So there's 2 ways of going about this.
Midjourney is just a website.
It creates art. It's a create artwork. Okay. Like this. So now let's say you can either explore and look what people have done. Oh, I like the Star Wars one. I could click it. I could see what the prompt they used to get there. So copy, prompt. I'm going to take the prompt. I'm going to put the prompt up here. It's mine now. I put it up here and I'm going to change away shooting lasers to shooting latkes and Hanukkah dreidels. Okay, and let's see what we get. We hit enter, and now I go to my artwork here. Let's see what I have. It's now creating possibilities out of taking that image and creating, instead of it lasers, I'm going to have Hanukkah latkes and dreidels coming out. Let's see. Here it is. I look at it, and this one, let's see. Oh, there's menorahs. There's what's it called there. It could do better. You can hold on. Let's go there. It's not sharp enough. We're gonna upscale here. Let's vary it. Strong variation, and it's gonna vary it, and it's gonna give me a much better, sharper resolution. And again, you could play with these images as much as you want to, and come up with them into these worlds. Like for example, let's come up with stairways for different video. You want to make a guy in a study who's learning. You can make him there. Now, this is how you really use it effectively. Now we're going to use it another level. You go to GPT and say the following. I'm creating a storyboard or anything. I'm creating a visual storyboard about a Hasidic rabbi giving money to buy matzahs for the poor. Come up with 10 mid-journey prompts to generate to generate hyper-realistic images. Let GPT create the prompt for you. Okay? Here it is, a warm, heartfelt scene. Hasidic rabbi, long white beard, wearing a black bekisher and a fur shtreimel. I'm going to take this. This is mine now. Okay? Thank you, GPT. You did your job. Goodbye. Let's pause it here. Let's go back up. Okay. There we go. Cut and paste. Now I go back here. What will I imagine? I'm going to imagine Matt. Let's see what it does.
And this is a free service.
Midjourney is free. Now, here we go. Oh, you see, by the way, my images are coming in sharper now. It sharpened it a bit. And I could play with the prompt till I get more big menorahs in the air. Here, look at this. Classic photo here. I got this. It looks like a Nazir giving out funds, but you sharpen the image to get what you want. You got a Greek Orthodox Church guy giving the funds. But you understand? You can get the images you want. You just keep messing with the prompting up.
How do you tell him that that hat doesn't really look like a rabbi's hat? Or how do you tweak different parts of
See the rabbi. Litvisha hat. Litvisha hat. Let's see. Now, whilst doing that, you might like Dolly too. You could take this, go here, and go to GPT, and go to Dolly. Let's go to Dolly. Here we go. Explore GPTs. The image generator is something called Dolly. So we're back in GPT, and there's Dolly. Beautiful. Okay, let's start the chat for Dolly. Okay, and let's pop that in here. And there you go. That's gonna make it now. And here we go. Let's do this. And we go back to their spin wheel, see what that looks like. More Litvisha. Here, this is a more Litvisha hat. They got the Litvisha hat. You see? A little bit more Litvish, but still looks like cowboys. But here, oh, by the way, look. Oh, Gavaldik. Now we're talking. Look at that. And they gave him a nice Muslim handcuff thing there. That's fine. But you could also take this copy that you could save the image and open it in Canva. And we could fix it. Watch this. I can go here. I can go Bekisher. I'll call it Bekisher. Let's go to Canva. Okay, and let's go to a file, create a new here, upload file. Okay, and then I go Bekisher. I'm going to take the Bekisher photo. There's the Bekisher one is going to come in now. Let's go. It's loading. There it is. Let's put it in. There's the Bekisher. And now I can fix it. Let me go edit it. I'm going to edit the photo. So when I press edit, you can also remove things quite easily. Magic eraser. Let's get rid of this vulgar holds here. Done. Come on, get rid of this thing here. Baruch Hashem, he has Thor's hammer on his side. We can get rid of that too. Let's get rid of that. Yeah, you understand? So whatever, you got the point. I erase it. I can fix the image. It's gone. Bekisher's fixed. Now I'm going to add to here. Let's get rid of that. And I'm going to add text. Let's go to elements text. You could add now here, get out of it. And then you can add and edit, and you could add text. You could do whatever you want. And you could put here above it, here, put here. The Pischa. Okay, there it is. And you have it. You have your image. You can do whatever you want with it. The poster, Canva's amazing for this. It's now fully integrated with AI. So what you could do is you go to the main screen. This will leave poster creation away from this. There. You go here and go flyer. Okay, so you go, let's do search for flyer. Let's go flyers. And then there's over 10,000 templates to work with here. These are amazing templates. And you have what you do is you create for your shul a brand, the look and feel of your shul, and you create a brand template so that all your posters have a similar feel in terms of the identity of the shul and the color scheme and even the font. How do I pick a font for my shul? I'm not a font expert. You're not a font expert. Imagine you are a typography expert. Your synagogue wants to include warmth, vitality, inclusion. What fonts should be used for our branding? Boom, get the information from them. You have to assume you don't know. Hello, good morning. You assume that you don't know anything, and then turn to them and then ask them for help in this area. Okay, that's where you do it. It's all, by the way, the key, as you're obviously saying, is all in the prompting. That's why I'm going to give you a little glimpse of the gold. This is the gold here. By the way, beautiful thing, Obsidian. You can make your own poster, your own wallpaper with search engines and this and that. But 25, my favorite power prompts. These are the killer prompts. This is the piece de resistance right here. All the greatest prompts you can imagine, but not for now. Okay, now let's go back to where we were.
So
We were talking.
what we've done so far is you've shown us a way to get good advice on your flyers. That could just be done through regular chat GPT,
Mhm,
just by uploading the flyer and asking for advice. Then
mhm.
we learned how to create an image, not a flyer, but an image through the journey, my journey.
You could use that as the basis for your image. Just put that, take that and upload that and say what size you want in Canva and say 8.5 by 11 and
Mhm.
have the image resized to be the background of your thing.
Right. But then the
You know,
actual layout of the flyer itself, you're not putting that all in to say, make a flyer for me. You're picking a template from Canva.
one second, my pen, one second. Hold on. Yeah, go ahead. Keep talking, please.
You're
Go
picking a
ahead.
template from Canva, and then you're using that to create the flyer as a whole. Or can you take all the information and simply drop the information into AI and have it make the flyer from scratch?
I think that it's a viable option of giving all of it to DALI to make the flyer, but I
Mhm.
don't recommend it yet. I'm not
I haven't had
recommending.
success with it yet. That's why I'm
It's not
asking.
there yet. It's not there yet. But here's the workflow I would do to keep this simple. I would tell GPT the event you have coming up and say, come up with the wording and the verbiage. I like to be whimsical or I like it to look professional. Have it
Mhm.
come up with the verbiage. Separately, come up with a mid-journey prompt and come up with the graphic or use a template in Canva. Use the verbiage and the structure of it, and then when it's done, take the image and go to Claude and say, Claude, critique this thing, hold nothing back, I'm inoffendable, go for it, and have them rip away. And so I think by the end of 22 minutes, you'll have yourself a really, really nice poster that you would have paid $200 for.
Can you use AI to sift through the 10,000 different templates within Canva?
The
Can it
Canvas
detect?
search feature, the Canvas search feature is so powerful. You tell it the style you're looking for, and there's filters on the side where you could then press. What you could do is you could then press, professional 7 items because let's say you have like a
Uh-huh.
shear coming up on 7 ways to
Uh-huh.
machnia yourself.
Okay, good,
Okay,
good.
so that's what that. Now, next, what you want to do. What you want to be able to do after that is now organizationally. Let's talk
Just one
organizationally.
question while you're on the
Yes.
topic. Does DALI have a
Sure.
free option anymore?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Again, remember, you're paying someone $200 a flyer. You're paying a flyer. So all these
Hmm.
things are mitigated. That's why I think I know people are really, living by just scraping by financially per month. I understand that.
Hmm.
But it seems to me in all these areas, even think of a rabbi trying to organize his finances is a mess. Just
Hmm.
load your bank statements. Rabbis, load your bank statements into there and then organize it to you and say, create for me budgets in each area. I'm overspending where? Find, trim the fat. You'll make the money back in 3 days. You'll make the money back in 3 days with this stuff. Okay, so now, um,
Maybe turn a little bit away from the light behind you. We
yes.
need, great, terrific.
Okay,
Thank you.
I'll
Okay,
go back
let's
to where.
keep going.
Okay, let's keep going. So now, So with this idea in mind is the following. Next is organizationally. So the organizational part is the part that makes it very hard for rabbis because it's unfair. You have a disadvantage. There are people there who went to Wharton's, who went to here, and they're on your board, and they could run circles around you. You won't even know what hit you by the time it's over, and they voted, and they nominated, and they're here and there. Stay out of all that stuff in general. That's rule number one. Stay in your lane. That's my first advice to take it from me. Stay in your lane. Just stay in your lane. And again, stay in your lane. But it doesn't hurt to be in the know and have a little bit of understanding of what's happening and the organizational structure, especially if a board is hiring you as a rabbi to be seen as a rabbinic CEO. You're managing. There are people under you. There could be an executive director. They're reporting to you. Are they reporting to the president? They're reporting to you. If there's anyone reporting to you in the synagogue, you have to have managerial training. You can't wing that stuff. That stuff will show in seconds. Listen, if you're just hired there to learn and give a shiur, that's a different story. But Mistama, most of the rabbis now are hired to manage some staff, to be makbid on that the place is clean and that the custodians are doing what they're supposed. It can't hurt for a rabbi to have managerial skills. And that's especially an area where I think something emotionally sophisticated like Claude could come in handy. And for that, you want to lean on managerial type prompts. So imagine you are here. Let's Google this. Let's try the GPT search feature. I'm going to turn on the share and watch how I would do it. Here we go. Here, screen. This is Gewaldic. Starting to get excited again. You're going to have to cool me down soon. Okay, so now here, who are the 10 most famous CEOs known for organizational structure? Here we go. Let's get some names. Here we go. 10 most famous CEOs. 10 most, the lighting in there wasn't working. This thank you is perfect. That's perfect. The light coming through. It's fine. Thank you. This is fine. Look at that. Steve Jobs, Ray Jacobs. Here, I'll take a random one here. Look at this. He's known for a divisional model to enhance accountability, streamline decision making. Ooh, this sounds good. So I would take the whole thing and I would say, imagine you are, okay. Imagine you are Roy Jacobs. Here it is. You see this? Okay. You are consulting a rabbi on how to organize. You are consulting a rabbi on how to organize his leadership role. Under him are and you list people that are under you. Okay. Okay. Hold on. Sorry, I let it go too fast. Okay. Hold on. Create a management plan and strategy. Here we go. Strategy for success in this area. So now watch this. So now it's going and it's flying. Here we are. There it is. Roy Jacobs. Here it is. The rabbi oversees multiple stakeholders, including there. So now it's moving. Okay. And we go down and there it is. Adopt a divisional leadership model. Okay. Here it is. Implementation, their responsibilities, define keep KPIs. That's KPIs there. Good. Gewaldic. So it's got the KPIs. It increased student retention by 15%. It's thinking in terms of schools. Okay, so you do that. And then it's got celebrate team and successes. Here it is. It's giving you a full management. This is a MBA you're getting in terms of operational MBA. And then each of these you could unpack and ask what they are. Communication strategy. What knows to do this? Weekly emails summarizing updates from all its divisions. Imagine you started doing that. How powerful it is that a board sees you're on top of managing the staff that's under you. Quarterly newsletters to the community to know what's been going on in the building and how we've been. And then the fundraising becomes much easier. Imagine if the fundraise, if you have to fundraise and they think that you're a mess and you have no clue what's going on in the building, they don't know their money's going to be going to anything good besides the kiddush. What are they paying for? The cholent? But they see you have a well-run machine that you are responsible for, that you are cried over. That's execution timeline. Look at this. Look at this long-term vision. Right, Penna, does this make sense what I'm saying? Am I talking normally? This is to me, this ups the
I
status.
think it is. I think the question that I would ask on behalf of the group is, how do you, and I guess the answer is to load up information about your shul, but this seems to be any shul or any institution. What's the best way for it to understand you and your institution, et cetera? I guess is just by putting in as much as you can.
Yeah, you describe the
Can you just give it a link
members.
to the website of your shul and it'll learn it from there?
It
Or
can
you
do
have to
that, but what I
copy
do
paste
is you
the
hold a cell
information?
phone. You hold a cell phone in your hand, and there's the recording model, and you record into the thing. This is a little bit about my show, and just talk, just go,
Okay,
just
so
go,
show
just
us
talk.
where the recording is because there was actually a question about that. And there was also
Okay.
a question about uploading audio files for them to be stored, analyzed, and transcribed.
Yes, yes, yes. Transcription. By the way, oh, pause. Transcription. Over here is the voice mode. You see down here is the voice mode. Look where I'm pointing.
Yes.
Watch this. Allow. Let's sharpen this here. Let's make sure it's on. Let's sharpen this a bit. Are you active right now? Hold on, it's picking up from the internet. Once it gets active, you just talk to it. And oh, start a new chat. It needs a new chat. You need to do it from a new chat. So you go to new chat. There we go. Watch this. This is gewaldic. Hello, good morning. Okay, good. Unschuldig. Let's go. Let's just keep talking. Here we go. So I want to tell you a little bit about my synagogue. My synagogue is in Poughkeepsie, and we have 60 members. Their academic backgrounds, they came to Poughkeepsie for a reason. The famous Poughkeepsie University for barleycorn is there. And our membership is known for being a little aggressive, but they respect the rabbi, they like the rabbi, but they look to him for leadership. Could you hold on to that information and with that information create a sophisticated management plan so I, as rabbi, can manage the staff under me? Yes, here. Here. Sorry, do you hear it right, Penna?
We can hear.
Oh, great. Keep talking. Sorry, I interrupted you. Keep talking.
Does it hear?
Okay. I'll stop there. Stop there. Stop there. Okay. Now, this information that it's telling you will all be written out at the end. It'll all be written out. You don't have to worry. You could have your interactive conversation and it will all be written out. By the way, I want to show you one more thing with this.
Wait,
You're
so
going to
let
go
us
nuts.
just see what happened there. What happened to that
I
note?
cut it off early. I stopped it, but it would have written up exactly what you had, but it would have adapted it to the unique situation in your Poughkeepsie
Uh,
synagogue. But he talked to you. You could talk it through. You have an answer. You didn't talk it out. What you can also do is there's a little trick you could do. Hi, I want to ask you, imagine you are a Orthodox Talmudic scholar. I want to talk to you about the following. Just give me a brief idea who the Chazon Ish, Rabbi Karelitz, was, and tell me a little background that I need to know about Eruvei Techumen.
I'm confused. What is it doing now and what are you doing now? Do you have to hit the X to load it up?
Wait, were you not able to hear or not?
Yes.
Hold on. Okay, it's giving me a background of Chazon Ish, and it
Oh,
actually
no,
is
we
this.
couldn't hear the audio. Oh, so it was sending back to you on
Oh, I'm
audio.
sorry. Oh, so funny.
There you
It's
go.
giving me a
Okay.
background. I do share audio too. No. It's giving you a background on
Uh-huh.
the Chazon Ish, detailed,
Uh-huh.
and a background on Erevei Tchumen. So
Uh-huh.
imagine you're about to give a shiur, and there's a side topic that you need to brush up your knowledge on. Let's
Mm-hmm.
say Meister Sheni, as opposed to Orla, Netar Avai. Just quickly break down, and you're driving there to the shiur. So you can't text. So you turn on the audio thing and you have it talk to you the whole car ride. You can have a conversation the whole car ride on any subject. Say pontificate on, and you know it's going to be on in vitro fertilization. So you want to be able to introduce the speaker and know a little bit about the subject. Talk to me about in vitro fertilization. Boom! It gives you things you know in bullet points.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I
There
use
was there was audio there. We weren't hearing the
Yeah,
audio.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
You had audio listening face. Anyways, the next thing is where this is helpful for me is I have the kernel of an idea for a drasha. I know where I want to go, but let's say I want to talk about how we're in a dystopian time right now. Okay? So on the drive, I will say, talk to me about a few classic dystopian novels and their different ways they look at what dystopian life will be. It'll talk to me about it. And then I'll say, okay, do those ideas seem to connect with Hamas, Hezbollah, and and whatever else you want to put in there? And then it'll say something political, but then it'll just start organizing ideas for you. And
And
that's why
again,
it's
we'll put that all into print for you as well. So when
it's
you
all
get
written
to
down.
your
All the audio
destination,
transcripts are written down. Yeah, it's all written down. So you don't have to worry while you're driving. How do I capture that idea?
okay, so that's an additional way to create homework,
Yes,
the part one of the
yes.
presentation. So we've done two things. We've looked at the creation of flyers, and again using Canva as the template,
Template.
and using
GPT as the text.
right,
Create also ahead of time in Canva the idea, the identity, the brand identity. Okay, so your brand identity.
right, and
Use
using my
Midjourney for some
journey,
of the nice artworks. Midjourney for some of the nice
Mid-Journey,
art.
sorry,
Midjourney.
Mid-Journey for the creation of
Yeah.
the images
Yeah.
that you'll
My
fly.
journey is a weight loss thing or whatever you're gonna be on. Fine. Now it's always a journey.
Separate seminar, separate
Yeah, the
seminar.
schlubs are always on some journey. You never make it.
Okay, let's talk about some of the other back office functions, but things that the rabbi would
Wait,
probably.
you skipped the comedy generator. That's the most
Oh,
important
there's the
part of the talk.
comedy
Yeah,
generator.
don't forget. Okay, I'm kidding. Okay, the
Okay,
back office stuff. Okay. This is the part where you as a rabbi could also be celebrated for low-hanging fruit wins. You can write up what the structure is that you're working with and saying, I seem to be coming home every night, 9 p.m., I'm overworked and I'm stressed. Use GPT to come up with a way of maximizing efficiency of your time. It'll come up with an iteration. Take it and go to Claude and say, this is a great phrase for Claude. How would you augment this? How would you augment this? That's a key thing here when you're going to go from one language model to another. Jump from one to the other. How would you augment what I have here? Um, there are many frameworks by which you can generate magnificent prompts, but they're very complicated. So this is what I do to create a prompt so that you can work on your organizational structure. This is the best way that I know of right now. So I go here. Let's go to the model that I have. OU01 Mini is pretty good. And what I'll do is create several.
share your screen.
Oh yeah, hold on. Here we go. Share the screen. This is Gamal. This is what I say is price of entry. This one is price of entry. Here we go. So I'm screen sharing. I go create several LLM prompts. They're called LLM prompts. Create several LLM prompts that can support me in getting my synagogue more organized in terms of what? In terms of the office management. Okay, watch this. Now, these are the prompts you could use to quick getting efficiency. Here it is. So now it's filing them out. It's flying. Create a comprehensive monthly calendar for our synagogue, including weekly service, special events, meeting agendas and minutes, draft an agenda based on date, volunteer coordination, financial management, budgeting. But this is not good enough. This is A level. You want to go one level up, create a detailed annual budget. Here, I'll take all these. Watch this. Watch what we do. This is going to be Givaldic. Take all these, copy and paste it, and go to Cloud. Create a new page in Cloud. Here we go. Let's unmute. And let's get a new one in Cloud. Here, starting a chat. Here it is. Okay. And help me augment these LLM prompts. I cut and paste it in there. You see it's attached? I cut and paste it. It's attached on the Claude screen. I hit enter, and now it's going to take what GPT did and it's going to put them on steroids. Boom, there's one prompt. There's a second prompt. There's a third prompt, volunteer coordination, financial management and budgeting. There is communication strategies. There is document organization. There's event planning. There's membership management. There's technology integration, risk management. All of these now are gold mine prompts that you could put into GPT. So here is, let's take one that we would use, a monthly calendar, meeting agenda, and volunteer coordination here. Copy. I copy and paste it, ready to go back here. Let's create a new page. I have my new prompt. There it is. Create a comprehensive volunteer management that addresses role-specific responsibilities. You add the limitations of your place, right? You add the limitations. The specifics of my synagogue are, and then boom, 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 boom. You just list them. I have 4 people working under me. The budget is such. We don't celebrate Yom Nicanor this year, but we are going to celebrate this, that. You put it in and you tweak it. And the response is going to be so good. I gave no details here. So let's see what it does without the details. But look what sophistication is giving you in the response. It's not an answer anymore. It's a system. Responsibilities, the food prep, the surveillance, the education. You're thinking all the items. You come prepared. You present to the board. If they have you present to the board, you come prepared. Whatever it is, it's going to learn you. Kashrus training the kiddush. Okay, again, you know what? There's someone making sure the custodian is not mixing. I had a guy used to bring his jerk sauce from Jamaica. He thought he would enhance the cholent. This guy, the sensitivity training, what comes in, just to make sure you have cameras situated, whatever it is for your specific place. You can cheshbon out. There's no area where you have to be in Amaretz anymore. There's no area. You don't have to be in the dark in these areas. And when board members are having their meetings about this and that, you don't have to be left out of understanding. You're the type of rabbi who wants to be in the know of what's happening. You're not trying to control it, but to understand what's happening, to understand the parts that you're responsible for, you're afraid for. The president's going to go to you and say, "We need to raise money for the boiler." Okay, Rabbi, let's do it. Okay, President. Get in the know, understand what's happening here. So you have a conversation. It's so much more effective. You're sitting down with Balabat raising money from, and they talk to you and they understand. You know more than them about this thing. You know more than them about this thing. You know more about the what's being raised for, why we need it, what's essential, what's happening, and they see that you're on top of what's happening in your shul. The checkbooks will open. They'll open. They just want to know it's responsible, that someone's watching the ship, and of course that you love them. That's a huge piece here. That it's not a hefker. It's not hefker. It doesn't need to be hefker anymore. Okay, so in terms of operations, these are using I'm showing you the simplest direct route to it, and hopefully I've shown you that GPT is the easiest and clearest way to get to many of these things. But there's another piece here that I want to show you back in Obsidian, okay, that I think is helpful for. And actually, I could show you a Replit as well. Replit, this is on Replit. Replit allows you to construct and build websites and apps. We're talking about flyers. We could build a whole website. Not only that, you can build a website, literally, an app, literally in minutes. Minutes. There is after a certain amount of free ones, there is a subscription for it, but you can do a bunch of free ones. Just test it out, see if this is for you in your context. You want to make an app that tracks how much learning the shul's done with Mishnayos. Describe what you want. I would like to make an app that tracks all the Mishnayos learned by my membership. We are trying to finish Shas. It's thinking. It's going to start constructing it with you. You could change the colors. You could have it loaded and uploaded within a half an hour. An entire website, an app that you can now send to anybody in the shul and say, guys, learn your Mishnayos. What do we got here? I don't think we realize how they want to add other things. There wasn't enough what I gave them. They want more. Should we add detailed statistics and report, implement journal schedule, add a chavrusa matching system, email notifications, approve the plan and start? Do you understand what you could do here? We're unstoppable nowadays. Till we watch, we're gonna fall on our faces bad with this thing. But it's amazing what it's doing here. Look at this. This is creating the coding. Imagine everybody fought in schools. They should have coding. You don't need coding anymore. The head NVIDIA said it. Look, it's doing the whole thing for you right now, and it'll be up. It'll be Givaldic. Every time something happens now, every other day, I just quickly go create an app for it. Just create an app. Get more practice. Go create an app.
And how do they where do they get this app? They're obviously not going to the Apple store.
This is, you go to Replit online. Look up replit.com.
They download the app to their phone from Replit.
Yeah, download the phone in the Apple Store. The Apple Store has Replit. You can download it in the App Store. They have a Replit. And then, it's amazing.
And then I'm saying, how does this new app that you've created, how do the Balabatim download this to their phone?
When it's done, when it's finished doing it, on the top, you see the button says deploy. It'll deploy to a site. They have a site where you could host things. And then here's good. I'll say it slowly. When you deploy it, it'll give you a link. Fine, you could send the link to everyone in the show. But the better madrega is go to bit.ly.com, bit.ly, B-I-T-L-Y, and you could create a QR code that matches your shul's logo, and you could do a color for each app, and you could send it out with the link, the bit.ly, to each member of the shul, whatever's easier. But See, it is two bad being installed. Good. It's still working. It's putting together. I don't have to do a thing. I'm talking to you, we're having a conversation. Before we know it, there's going to be a whole app is going to be up. We're all finished. It's over. We're all going to be finished. There's something called the theory of the paperclip. It's called the philosophy circle. That one day there's going to be a mistake and the robots are going to turn us all into paper clips. That's what it's called. That's the official name of it. The impending doom. But I am floored by what this can do. It's telling me 4 packages were installed. These are very high level packages. This is the kind of stuff you would have normally paid a web designer to do $2,000 to put these in. Okay, and it's doing it right now. It's reviewing all the instructions, bringing the code to life, and it's going to let me test it in about another minute. It'll let you test it. So again, this is where we're at. You can create anything. There's nothing in the way of programming. Creative programming. What you can do is number one. Let me see your roots. I'm really curious what happens there. Okay, what number one is you could do in terms of creative programming is you could also turn and say, this is the holiday that's coming up. Okay, this is where GPT was lagging when you did it. This is the holiday that's coming up. Okay, Pesach, I want some activities that such and such and such. You can go so much further. Make your prompt otherworldly. What I mean by that are, now this is another lesson here. There's a way of structuring your prompts that adds a deeper layer of sophistication where you are not just telling it, imagine you are, but you're also saying the nature of the intended audience. So it doesn't get stuck in Tikkun Olam world. It loves Tikkun Olam. So you say, imagine you are a creative, out-of-the-box thinker. I would take Richard Branson, right, from Virgin Atlantic. He's very creative. Imagine you are Richard Branson and you've been hired by your synagogue to consult on creative programming. That already, it jumps the list all the way up. Okay, you pop this thing up. Then you say the intended audience are Orthodox singles 20 to 28. Narrow the playing field of who it is you're talking to. Output, how you want to deliver the information. Deliver me the information in bullet point system so I could follow what you're trying to tell me succinctly and clearly. So you're training it on the output as well. When you get a prompt like that, you then say, and it's Hanukkah coming up. We need something with dreidels, but is sophisticated enough to engage that demographic. You understand? Just narrow the type. Here's what I say. Picture who you're sitting across from. You're not sitting from a computer. You're sitting across from the best in the world at that. Who, if you had all the money in the world, who would you put across from you? A way that I do to generate this, and this is how I got onto all this. This is how it all started for me. Okay, and this you can take this as Gavaldic. I asked Google, who are the people you need around the table to create a new product? And Google said you need 6 people. You need a marketing guy, you need an innovator, you need a tech person, you need fine. I then looked up who are the 10 greatest in each area. And I went to GPT when it first came out to the public and I said, imagine, and I picked one from each. I said the 10 best in each area. I picked Walt Disney, I picked Oprah, I picked this, I picked Jeremiah the prophet. I said, imagine you're all sitting at a table and you're trying to come up with something that will change Torah learning forever for the good. You will not leave till the conversation's over. Begin. What that does is you have different creative data sets going at each other. On a managerial sense for a synagogue, for a shul, what that does is you want to be able to have organizational leadership and advice from the best. You can get Steve Jobs in the room, which is amazing. Get Steve Jobs in the room. I have Steve Jobs, of several good Steve Jobs prompts. Have him in the room because his whole thinking that they love playing with is it was a little small was never enough. It was everything was very big and extensive. So in terms of thinking big for vision and creating a great vision for your shul going forward, it's very potent and very powerful. Coming back to the repl, let's see what they have by now. Here we go. Share the screen. We're back. And here they want me to check out, can I register the username and password for the Mishnayos tracker? That's what they're up to already. It's unbelievable. Can you register a new user login? Do you see the dashboards? Let's do a new yell. Here we go. Gonna register here. So I'm gonna register here. And username, Kartoffel. And then Rabbi Einhorn. Okay. And then the password is, hold on, it's freezing up. You put the password in, it takes you to the main screen. And yeah, here, let's go. It's gonna go in. Okay, good. And password is Lokshin. Okay, register. Here it goes. Registration successful. Now, there we go again. And let's go Lokshin. Okay, there. Okay, let's see if it works. Log in. Here it goes. Invalid username, whatever. I might have made a mistake. You get there till you get there. Of course, that's what human error. We're the only ones now standing in the way. Just humans. So, and it would take me to the page, and you keep tweaking until you like the way it looks. It's by the way, that could be a good way to create your posters too. You could use the Replit to be a poster generator. Create an app that's poster generator. Ooh, I haven't done that. We'll try that later. Another time we'll play with that. Okay, so you have now on the managerial things. Well, how do you know what you don't know? How do you know what you don't know? So that too, I would turn and say, tell me the things that I don't know in terms of managing and running a shul, the back end. Think of it like a company that should run efficiently. What are all the areas? And then say, teach me 1% per day. How to do how to understand. You shouldn't be controlling them, but to understand them. You should be in the know. You shouldn't be allowed to be thrown around without understanding what's happening and how it works.
Now, when you
And that
say
I think
teach me 1% a day, it's going to give you a 365 days in a book. Is it going to give you, how does it know
remember, if you
tomorrow?
stay on the same thread, if you stay on the same thread of that chat, it's
Okay.
keeping the memory. So continue
So
from
then
there.
it'll
Continue from there.
say, teach me
Yeah.
today. Give me another
Or you
piece.
could say, by the way, if you want to start a new thread, at the end of that day, you could say, describe in one paragraph where my expertise is currently at. It'll give you a paragraph, save that in your document, and then you put that in the next day. This is where I am.
Okay. Could you talk a little bit about time management and AI?
Yeah. Watch this. So now let's go to Claude for this. Let's share. Okay, share screen, and here we go, share. I am a rabbi worried about time management. Watch this, time management. List in an obsidian friendly table, all the time management systems out there. Okay. So it's going to make me a beautiful, look how nice this comes out. Hold on a second. Where it is. Okay. No, I don't like that to make a table. Oh, wait, it's listing. This is great. Anyways, look at this. Eisenhower Kanban, most important tasks, digital first methods. So, oh, here we go. Yeah, there's giving you different ones. Now, knowing it has here, would you like me to expand or add more Jewish traditional modern time management approach, obsidian specific features, tags and links? It just produced 15 different time management strategies. Eisenhower matrix. The reason I keep saying Eisenhower matrix is because, and I'll show you a couple time management strategies here. This is good. This is good. We got this. I'm happy. Okay, so let me show you the Eisenhower matrix. Okay, so let's go into the page, and I will go here in Obsidian. Okay, my matrix is down here. What the matrix is, you may know it already, is E matrix is here. So you could have the different. Okay, let's put it here and. What a matrix does is, oh, let's update my, check for updates, and there, second. Matrix organizes it by the things that you need to get done now. Urgent, there are 4 categories, 4 boxes, right? What there are, you have, yeah, urgent and important, important, not urgent. Get this out of the way. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, urgent but not important, not urgent and not important. Okay, it's classic way of organizing the structure. So that's one way of looking at it. Board view, you could view it as a table list. You could use that method. It all depends on what you would prefer to use, what you would prefer in terms of your time management. Now, this is what I want to show you, Excalibur. I'm opening Excalibur. Okay, let's open up in a new pane. Excalibur, here it is. This is an Obsidian. This to me is the most powerful system because look what it does. You could first of all create your own canvas. Great, you'll put here, here's a list of all the things that need to get done. Call Moishi, raise funds for the
RCA,
Moistus,
RCA.
for our Moistus and RCA.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move it over 1 second, put that here. Okay, you can do like that and all that. And then you create little pockets of areas where you're working on each one and your implementation of how you're going to do each one. Let it come out. It's amazingly integrative. You put here, we're going to put there, you put it there, and then you put the images here of each thing of any lists you need to put in there. You could add files in there, like the other one. Rav Amiel's thing needs to be in there because that's part of the, hold on, went back there. Yeah. Rav Amiel's files here. Good. Oh, thank God I made it to the fundraising because we're going to raise money for Rav Amiel's Dvar Torah. Okay, we put it here and it's up here now. It's so integrative, it's so good. Now here's the part where AI comes involved. Okay, I have that there, beautiful, fine. This should be for sure. You could change the colors and all of that. Here, let's make this that. Make it blue, and with the blue, fine. Okay, very nice. AI. Now watch this. Let's get rid of this. Move this out of the way. Get rid of this out of the way. This out of the way. This out of the way. This is worth the price of entry. AI. Text to diagram. Let's do it over here. Scale draw. Okay, create a new drawing. Okay. Let's say you have a layout where you want to lay out all the things you need to do or need to get done. Okay, so AI text to diagram. What do you want to do? I need a football field looking, a football, what is it called when they're laid out in the football formation? Football formation structure that lays out 15 different projects at 3 levels. Okay, generate and go. Okay, here it is. And what it's going to do is it's going to create a structure by which I can now map out everything that needs to get done, but in a, yeah, beautiful. There it is. That's what I wanted. There it is. It laid it out for me. It's all ready to go. I pop in what I want for each one. I create accountability, and then I create a person who's the project manager. This is so you stay in Obsidian. But for those who were addicted to trying every single thing out there in the world in terms of AI, some of us might have stumbled on Trello. So let's go to Trello. It is so good. This is so good. Right here, we're going to Trello.com. Go to Trello.com. It's a beautiful interface on the phone as well. And what it does is it lays out all the projects you have going on. Okay, there it is. Everything that you might have going on, investment algorithm, shop, whatever it is, you lay it out. And within each one are these workspace templates. You create the background, and then current sprint, in progress, on hold, next up, questions. And it's a Kanban style. Kanban style means once you're done with this part, right, you could have whatever details you want. You then pop it over to here, and boom, it's moved over in progress, on hold. You're tracking it. It's going from here to here to there to there until it's out and done. If you need a lot of detail and hand-holding in making sure you get something done, Trello is the way to go. Trello is the way to go. Obsidian, you can create a Trello-like board, and it's great too. It really, I don't know why it's not showing up as beautiful colors as I had, but I'll fix that later. But you can create a Kanban here. Let's open a Kanban. Kanban, create a new board. See, in Obsidian, I'm creating Kanban is exactly similar style. So here it is, chicken soup. Chicken soup. There's one cart. Within chicken soup, there's buy the salt, buy the matzo ball, and let's get one more. Buy noodles. Okay. Now, when that's done here, I'm going to enter noodles. Okay, noodles. When that's done, I could take it and then I can move it over to the next board. So you keep adding more. The next board is hello. Fine. Good. See, hello, add a card. Schmeichel. Okay. Okay. Move this over to here to the next card. You can keep moving it, moving it, moving it until you're all the way done through the process. Same structure if you want to just get one thing. But Trello is the most visual appealing visually. You could set reminders. You could set bells to remind you to do something. You could have it send notifications to your phone. You can
Can
do
it lay
all
out the whole project for you in the first place, or do you have to enter all this
pick
data?
templates. There's hundreds of templates. You can pick the types of boards
No,
you
no,
want.
but
It'll
I'm
lay it
saying,
out.
can it break down the project for you into their various pieces
You would still want to use Claude or GPT for that. This is what I
for
have
that?
coming up. Break this into projects. I'm going to say I'm going to be using Trello. Help me structure my Trello board for maximum efficiency. Let it
Uh,
always know the platform you're going to be using.
I'm gonna be
So it
using.
designs it for you in the way that is most friendly to that platform.
Mhm.
So I love using Trello. It's just an amazing framework for thinking in terms of this. But then again, you can go back to what we created in terms of the ideas, time management system for rabbis, right? And also what you do is you want to, remember what we did? Oh, these are all the time management systems. You could say, knowing I have ADD, I have ADHD, and I am feeling anxious. Which system do you recommend for me?
Mhm.
Because I'll err on the side of what's most colorful, but that might not be what's best for me. So I'd
Mhm.
recommend use MIT system because it's got elements of time boxing, and then it tells you how to integrate it with your day and how you want to do it. If you want to use MID and all that. You see that
And
you want
obviously,
to,
if you plug in specifics of what the kinds of things you're trying to do, it'll apply that method for you and create the.
plug it all in. You don't have to think anymore. You don't need to think anymore at all, at all. Now, I'm kidding about that, but yes, it'll do all of that. One more piece with this is let this stuff play to your weaknesses. Meaning, if you know you have gaps in areas A, B, and C, just you try it and it's just not going. Some they're going to be the same gaps in 10 years from now. So use AI to close up and shore up that gap. I'm not good with follow-up. So put in there, create a sophisticated CMR system, customer management retention system that allows me to stay in touch with my membership and keep track of where they are. It'll make you a whole grid. And you can just plug in the info as you move along. And you can have it set reminders so you keep in touch with them.
And
No one
that
should be
grid,
messing up anymore.
and that grid
What?
would be in what program?
I would use for that, you can create, Trello will do a good job with it. You can create, Obsidian for sure would be able to do this. And Obsidian, you can create it where you have a board and a table with all the membership and you plug in the date when you met them. I want to tell you about, there's one thing called Medium, I believe it is. Medium actually says, these are all the things I need to do. I want to finish learning Kuzari. I want to finish doing whatever it is. You put a list down of all the things you want to finish and then you tell it your time constraints, it will populate your calendar for you. It will populate your calendar for you and structure. Say these are the types. I need breaks of 2 hours to go spaziering. You put in your parameters. So it could do that too. I think it's Medium. I think the exact name. I got rid of it. It was too much. I had too many things going on, so I stopped using it. But I stick to Obsidian and Trello in terms of all things and using the GPT and Claude and Arena to sort of get the data as a basic level, just as a basic level. When
Okay,
you're
so let's
creating,
do a summary of this section now. I'm sure there's 20 hours more of information on a basic
oh
level that you could
yes,
give
yes,
us.
yes.
Obviously, Rabbi Einhorn remains available, not simply as a volunteer. He does have a company, and you can understand why now. And Shpait.ai can be very helpful for you and for your shul and needs. What is the best way to get in touch with you, Rabbi Einhorn?
Shlomo at Shpait.ai. And Ray Penner, if you don't mind, I'll give you a flyer where it says the different areas that might help rabbis if they want to follow up with to learn about. You can just send to
Okay,
them where they can
terrific.
reach me
So
and have it.
we
That
will
work?
publicize that as well. But let's just summarize the things we learned in this section.
Yes. Number
Flyers.
one. Number one, use let's say the comedy generator. Use that not for the jokes, and that's a good muscle to help us understand all areas. Don't use it for the specific. Use it to get your brain thinking in terms of those areas that you need to think about. Meaning, if you're giving it for a comedy, if you're giving a drasha in an area of, what's on people's minds in the recovery after Israel's wars are over, have it come up with 10 to 15 ways of having a conversation with your community about life continuing again. What are ways that are not trite and mundane? It's going to give you frameworks to think about where you can then plug it in. That's one. Number two, we talked about organizational structure, KPIs, and things like that. You should be in the know of the management. Use these different systems to help you stay on top of the management so you're always in the know. That will only help you, not in terms of having control, but in terms of helping with fundraising, in terms of being someone who looks like you're achrai over the areas that affect your balabatim. And it's very important when you're managing people that their happiness is contingent on your relationship with them and how a manager ought to be. And we didn't get MBAs, most of us. We didn't go to Whartons. So use these things, these areas to give you that quick training in the different spaces. We talked about creating marketing material. We didn't talk about social media, Instagram, any of that stuff. That's a whole other beast. But this can do that stuff for you. But anyways, marketing materials. Don't make yourself crazy. There should be a workflow. Create the words you want in GPT. Let it create the flow of the wording. Take the verbiage, find a template you want in Canva. Take the imagery and the graphics you want to use that should be more sophisticated. So you'll create those in Midjourney from a prompt you created in GPT. Then after that, we talked about different types of time management systems. There are many of them, but have them tailored to your specific limitations. Augment your strengths and mitigate your weaknesses and use the time management system that works best for that, not the one that's the hottest or the most visually appealing or all that stuff. Use the one that's going to work and get things done for you and help your life be more open and efficiency. I will close with saying that after playing around with
The app creator, that was what name again?
the app creator, oh, Replit, yeah, Replit could create an app, but anything, there's a lot of fun to send out your community. I will state the obvious, that at the end of the day, though, nothing can replace authenticity and direct communication. Nothing. No matter how many GPTs and you create fake versions of you, in Avram Avinu that they could talk to late at night, all of it cannot replace authentic human connection. And I know from just the teaching at Eula now, when they took away the phones the first day of school, the second day, the kids, the high school, I was shocked. Without failure, the high school kids said they feel so good and are so happy. And at the end of the day, as much as this stuff can suck you into a vortex that you never get out of. So you just have to be careful that human connection is still the most important thing in a show, I think. With all this chazarai notwithstanding. Oh, AI is in chazarai, by the way.
At least so far.
At least for now. At least for now. At least for now. Yeah.
At least
Okay,
for
thank you,
now.
Rabbi. Go ahead.
At
Thank
least
you.
for now. Thank you so much, Shlomo. This was absolutely amazing. I think we have many, many more questions than we had before, but now I think we have a little
Good.
bit of a sense of, first of all, who can help us with that, and
My
also
pleasure.
to go to AI itself to answer those questions.
Yeah,
Thank you so
1000%.
much, and we will for sure be checking back with you, Rabosai. If
Wait.
there
Right, Penner?
are Oh, 1 second, but let me just say this. If there
Yeah.
are other topics, AI and otherwise, that you would like us to address, I'm sure we should now just put this into Claude to see what the next 7 topics should be for the RCA. But if you want to use your human interaction to try to make suggestions for future webinars on any different topic and any speaker that we can try to bring before you, the actual person, not a computer being the person, please be in touch and let us know how we can provide that for you. One final comment.
Yes, this is so random, but it's so important. The prioritization of emphasis in programming, in speeches, in everything is such an area of failure for rabbis. We overemphasize we have the annual dance under the stars. Pause. Use Cloud and GPT to say, these are my objectives with the shul this year. Which of these programs in order should I emphasize and how? It's very good with weighted emphasis, which we ruin every time because we're going to lean towards what's easy, what's going to make more splash, what's going to this. No. You have an objective. Help me with getting to my objective. I wanted just to put that out there.
Okay, wonderful. I'm glad that it's a long weekend because I think we're going to only need a lot of time now to put everything in our lives into AI and figure out what it has to say to us. We will definitely be in touch.
All right.
Thank you on behalf of the RCA, and everyone should have a good couple of days and a good Shabbos. Kol tov.
Ciao, stick.